Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the magic world of Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden presents the 44th Annual National Invitation Tournament, brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you.
In less time than it takes to have a cup of coffee, you can have your oil changed at Rapid Lube and Oil.
Much of the hopes of Syracuse University rest on this man, number 44, 6'11" senior Danny Shays. An injured ankle on Monday hampered his semi-final performance. He must be at full strength tonight. For Tulsa University, Greg Stewart, the 6'10" center who had a sensational semifinal round with 19 points, 10 big rebounds. The two big men match up in this, the championship game. I'm Bucky Waters. Along with me, Digger Phelps, the coach of Notre Dame. And Digger, both of these teams like to run, but I really felt the reason they got to the championship game was defense.
The key to both of their seasons has been the running game, and it's going to be interesting tonight to see which team can outrun the other.
40 minutes of transition. If you like run and leap, you're going to love this game. Let's look at Tulsa up close. Greg Stewart, as we pointed out, a physical frontline player, a fine leaper, here taking an alley-oop pass and putting it home. The real key to the pressure defense for the Golden Hurricane is Paul Pressey, number 25 here on the run, had 20 points, 7 assists for an NIT record in the semifinal win.
The key frontline player for Syracuse, Tony Bruin from New York, who's got to stay out of foul trouble tonight, who's got to play on the boards. Of course, right now, here's Syracuse's best part of their game. When you take a look at Dan Shays, the long outlet pass to Sanford, this is why Syracuse is here with the running game.
Tulsa from the tough Missouri Valley Conference got to this championship games with win over Pan American, Texas El Paso, South Alabama from the Sun Belt, and of course West Virginia from the Eastern 8 Conference.
Syracuse coming in with wins over Marquette, Holy Cross, Michigan, and Purdue. It's going to be interesting to see who wins it, Bucky.
For sure. Marv Albert, we're back to you for a recap of the first game right after this message.
This Bud's for everyone who wraps it, stacks it, and stacks it.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
There's a hungry kind of feeling, oh, and every day it grows. You know there's so much more to you than anybody knows.
In the Army, we do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
Hey, First Sergeant. Good morning.
'Cause we need you in the army.
Chic Super 2 announces
Macho Shave is Super 2 for the Macho Shave.
Don't just get close. Get macho close with the new Super 2. Each twin blade honed to the ultimate sharp for shaves so close they're
macho close.
Fits Atra and Track 2 razors.
Macho Shave.
Get macho close with
new Super 2.
If you live in the city where car exhausts are a problem and you got 10,000 miles from our old air filter, you'll get 15,000 from the Fram Extra Lights. If you live in the country where dirt roads are a problem, you'll get, say, 7,500 miles instead of 5,000. That's because the Fram Extra Life has this extra outer filter that helps keep the inner filter clean. You get 50% more mileage than our old single Fram filter at no extra cost. So if you live in the desert where sand is a problem,
And back at Madison Square Garden, Syracuse and Tulsa are on the court getting set for the championship game of this 44th National Invitation Tournament that is coming up in about 10 or 15 minutes from now. In the opener, in the game for third place in overtime, the Boilermakers of Purdue beat West Virginia by the score of 75-72. The high point men for West Virginia, Russell Todd, Vic Herbert each had 16. For Purdue, Drake Morris led the way with 18. Mike Scarce with 14, and Keith Edmondson had 13. So in OT, Purdue defeating West Virginia 75-72. On Monday night during the semifinal, it was Purdue losing to Syracuse by the count of 70-63, while West Virginia was beaten by Tulsa. West Virginia leading most of the way. In fact, Tulsa's style has been to trail early in the game, trail at halftime, and then they have been able to make a burst in the final minutes, and that is certainly the case on Monday night. So Syracuse and Tulsa upcoming shortly. Right now, Digger Phelps is all set with Purdue coach Gene Keady. So let's go to Digger downstairs.
With me, I have Gene Keady, the winning coach of Purdue University. Gene, you've had a great year.
Well, we certainly have. Won 21 games, and we were picked 7th in the Big Ten, so it's always hard to get up for a third-place game, as you know, Diggers. We entered the game with mixed emotions because you got beat and want to play for first, but at the same time, it really tests your character, and I was proud of our players where they came back.
What was your thought going into overtime?
Well, if we could just be patient and get the shots we wanted, I thought we could win the game and come back and play a tough defense, and it worked out that way. We got a couple breaks, and then off our control game, we got a layup, and that kind of wrapped the game up for us. But, you know, you always wonder how you're going to play in overtime. You know that better than anyone.
Yeah, that makes sense. Gene, your first year in the Big Ten, what was the experience?
Well, now I can say it was a good one because we had a better season than everyone thought we were going to have. The coaches are all class guys in the league, and it's really a challenge, and the fans are super, and they got a lot of great athletes in that conference, so it was enjoyable for me, and I'm looking forward to next year.
Well, it's because you got one of the premier players in the country, Cross. How was this year for you?
Well, Russell had a great year for us, Digger. He was a little bit tired the last part of the season, I thought. Didn't play like he had earlier, but he's a fine young man, and I'm really proud of him the way he played his freshman year.
Gene, the road down to Big Ten, obviously right now with Indiana sitting in Philadelphia waiting to play, and the success the Big Ten had not just in the NCAA playoffs but also in the NIT. What is the biggest challenge you find in Big Ten basketball?
Well, trying to survive during the league is a big challenge, Digger. Every game is a big one. You can't get 2 up or 2 down because somebody's going to knock you off and you get 2 down, so you got to get ready for the next one. I think that's probably what prepared most of us for the NIT or the NCAA when you go through our conference, and it really makes you tough as far as the crowds and being you know, so hyper. And I was really in a situation where happy to be there and glad to be here in this tournament, of course.
2 days waiting to play the third-place game. Going back to the Syracuse game, the shot that was missed that could have tied it.
Well, Keith Edmondson had a layup, and it's one of those situations where it didn't fall, and we had 17 seconds left and a timeout, and if we could have got the timeout, we might have pulled the game out, but it wasn't to be, and he went out and practiced the next day and made that shot 10 out of 10, just shook his head, so you know how that goes in basketball.
Well, let me just say that the Big Ten this year has had a great coach with Gene Keady coming in at Purdue, and I just know that you're going to have continued success, and this is just the first step in what I think is going to be a great program at Purdue University. Congratulations.
Thank you, Digger. Digger, along with Purdue coach Gene Keady. I'm Marv Albert. The man to my right, a familiar face to hockey fans all over the nation, all over the world, in fact. A new addition to the Madison Square Garden television network, and that is the captain of the U.S. Olympic team, Mike Eruzione, who has been mobbed by fans.
Yeah, they're all around me.
They remember Mike.
Especially in a place like this.
What were your experiences with basketball? You mentioned that you were a tough power forward.
I was basically the pain-in-the-neck guard that used to go out and cover the opponent's best guard. But my town is a basketball town, Marv. I play a lot of basketball. I play in the summer. I don't think I've missed a summer league game in the last 6 years. So I basically know the idea of what these guys are going through. I haven't been under that great pressure as far as a basketball player, but I have played a little basketball.
Mike, I know that you have been a very, very busy man making speaking engagements throughout the country. See what a little television exposure will do for you.
It changes your life. It's funny, I was in West Virginia this morning, and you know, it's ironic in a way that they were playing here in the consolation game, but it's happened so quickly. Sometimes I have a difficult time you know, realizing it and adjusting to it, because it's funny what a victory can do to someone, and it's well, I wouldn't be here if we lost.
Well, perhaps.
Maybe in the stands watching it.
That's true. As you reflect back, it's now over a year since the astonishing victory at Lake Placid. Do you still find yourself thinking about certain moments in the series against the Soviets or the Czechs? Does it flash to you? Perhaps you're on an airplane and all of a sudden you're thinking of Jim Craig or yourself or some of the other stars of that U.S. Olympic team.
Many times. It's really scary. It happens so much. Like yesterday I was in Pittsburgh, and the first thing that came to my mind was, geez, I hope I get 5 minutes. I can call Mark Johnson. And I did. I got a chance to talk to, well, I talked to Mark's wife. Mark was at practice. But it's always there. I'll be sitting on a plane. I'll be driving in a car by myself, and just like that, I can put myself back in that arena in Lake Placid, back in the locker room, back on the bus going to the games. It's very easy to do.
What kind of mail do you receive? At least that
exciting mail. I got two marriage proposals.
Which can't be mentioned, Mike. Yeah.
I got two marriage proposals, but they didn't send any pictures, so I'm waiting for the pictures to come. But you get a lot of fan mail from kids. A lot of kids, I think they want to be a part of that victory, so you send them back an athletic, a picture of myself or a picture of the team. And I think it's important because there's so little that people can look towards sometimes, and I think athletes are very important for the youth, that they can look up to somebody. And when I get a letter from someone, I return it, I send an autographed picture, and it makes their day a little nicer.
All right, for those of you who may have just joined us, I'm Marv Albert along with Mike Eruzione, the captain of the U.S. Olympic hockey team. Digger Phelps and Bucky Waters are with us also. The consolation game of the NIT going in overtime to Purdue by the score of 75-72. Syracuse and Tulsa coming up in the championship game a little bit later on. And we're told that the Syracuse and Tulsa teams have been given additional warm-up time because of the unusual later start due to the overtime and the battle for third place. So that'll be coming up later on. Right now, Bucky is all set alongside senior guard Brian Walker of Purdue. So let's go back downstairs.
Our guest is Captain Brian Walker of the Purdue Boilermakers. And Brian, consolation games are nothing new for you. And last year in the Final Four, after losing to UCLA in the first round, they came back to beat Iowa. You don't like that habit particularly, do you?
Well, consolation games are hard to get up for. You know, you're playing for third place, and you'd like to be playing for first place. The bad thing about it is, out of the 4 teams, it's a great honor to be in the Final Four, but yet one of them has to go home with 2 losses, and that's that's kind of difficult. I would hate to be West Virginia, that come back and have a great season and they cap it off with 2 losses, and it's kind of tough. But you have to just forget about it. And consolation games, I guess, it is really hard to get up for.
As one of 3 senior co-captains, 2 years ago, you were in the finals of the National Invitation Tournament when neighborhood rival Indiana beat you right at the buzzer.
Yes, Butch Carter had a shot from the top of the key with about 4 seconds to go, put them up by 1. We called timeout, and we got a 20-foot jump shot at the end of the buzzer that bounced out. So it's a close game, but Indiana, they beat us that game.
All right, tonight you had 9 points in the first half. You're the acknowledged leader, the brains of the Purdue offense. But in the second half, they went to a triangle and 2 with a man on you. That's kind of unusual for a guy who only takes 3 shots, but that's respect because you're averaging over 7 assists a game.
I was recruited by Coach Gail Cadlick when I was in high school, and I think his philosophy was, he wanted to, I control the game and get the guys where they're supposed to, and I run the offense. I think if he thought he could shut me down and not be able to run the offense, which he did, I didn't hardly pass the ball at all the second half, didn't touch it that much, and maybe he could stop Purdue, and we were up 7 or 8 points, and they came back, so it was successful for them.
Well, I think you'd have to regard your season, which was a good one, as a bit surprising. Losing Joe Barry Carroll to graduation, and then along comes a fine freshman, Russell Cross. He really made a great adjustment, didn't he?
Yes, I've seen Russell Cross play before he got here, so this season was a good season for us, and I thought we were going to have a good season because he is a fine player.
All right, you played both Purdue. In early December, Tulsa, and they hammered you pretty good. And of course, you lost to Syracuse. Who do you like in the title game, Brian?
It's going to be a run-and-gun game, and a game like that, it's hard to choose, so I'm going to be a politician and not take either one. Well, if I had my favorite, I think I'd probably take Tulsa.
And that's why he's gone to law school. Marv Albert, back to you.
Thank you, Buck. Syracuse and Tulsa continuing their pregame warm-ups. As we get closer to game time, the 44th NIT championship game is upcoming. And as we move closer to that opening tip, we're set for Bucky's scouting report. So let's go to Bucky and Digger.
Digger, I've really done my homework on these two teams battling for the title. Let's see if you agree with me. First, the Golden Hurricane from Tulsa. If you like to see superb athletes play run and leap, you'll love Tulsa. They go much deeper than Syracuse, and except for Paul Pressey, they lose nothing going 9 deep. The speed and depth combine for their primary tactical ploy, a defense that's a 40-minute siege. They're a poor foul shooting team, only 66% for the season, but you have to catch them to foul them. Inflexible, against a slower tempo, it frustrates Tulsa. Defense must force up-tempo for them to win the championship.
I agree with you, Bucky. I like Tulsa's speed in the front line. I think this could be a problem for Syracuse, especially if Stewart has a good night in offensive rebounding situations, but a slow-down game could hurt Tulsa.
All right, the Orange of Syracuse. They're a very confident team right now. The Big East champions believe they're invincible, and the Cinderella challenge from Tulsa really doesn't scare them. Defensively, they had a tough time offensively. Monday night in the semifinal, shooting only 43%, but their defense was a force. It held Purdue to 41% from the floor and 18 turnovers, and that's what got them to the finals. From a weakness standpoint, they're just not as deep as Tulsa, and Eddie Moss's play is key. He's going to be wearing the Tulsa press all night long. His stamina and talent is vital to the Orange. Defensive rebounding has plagued the Orange all year. Tulsa's front court's more physical, deeper. If Tulsa is getting second shots, Syracuse can't run.
Well, if Syracuse, knowing that Shays cannot play a strong rebounding game, could go to a slowdown, and that could help them tonight. And I picked Syracuse to win a little.
Right out on a limb, he hasn't changed. And this man was in the final game of the National Invitation Tournament. Marv Albert, back to you.
All right, fellas, and we'll be back with more of the National Invitation Tournament after this pause.
Michelob brings you the 7-day weekend, all America style. Americans love weekends, not just the Saturday and Sunday kind, but whenever we take time to enjoy the good things in life, like the smooth and mellow taste of Michelob. Because all over America, Michelob helps make any time feel a little like a weekend.
Hey, put a little weekend in your week.
Yeah.
Your next long-distance call may be transmitted by satellite. The signals being sent and received from places like this called Earth stations. It's our latest way of preparing for the future, when telephone traffic gets heavier and heavier. Because you see, each one of the satellites can handle 18,000 calls at once.
Gee.
No, GTE.
There's a hungry kind of feeling, and every day it grows. You know there's so much more to you than anybody knows.
Specialist Kevin Crowley is working with tomorrow's technology in the Army's newest tank.
All that you can be. The laser determines target range and feeds it to the computer.
Be all that you can be.
It's just incredible.
'Cause we need you in the Army.
Marv Albert, Bucky Waters, Digger Phelps from Madison Square Garden in New York. Syracuse and Tulsa upcoming in the championship game of this National Invitation Tournament. For Syracuse, their 7th NIT. This is the first time they've gone to the finals, and for Tulsa, their 4th appearance in the NIT and their first ever trip to the Final Four of the National Invitation Tournament. The introduction of the starting lineups upcoming shortly. Right now, let's go back to Mike Eruzione.
At every college basketball game, there's always an attractive, pretty cheerleader, and today there's no exception. We have a cheerleader from Tulsa. And what is it like to come into the big city at a big basketball game for the Tulsa University team?
Well, it's a lot different than I expected. There's just so many people here.
Did you get lost in the shuffle looking for cabs or anything like that?
Oh, no, we took the subway. That was really fun.
Well, what do you think the chances of your team are?
I think they're pretty good tonight. We're all really excited. We've got a lot of fans with us and everything tonight, and I think we'll do really well.
One more question. How important is it to the cheerleaders to come away here and jump around and get the team all excited? Do you find the players really strive on what you people do?
Oh, yes. We think it's really important that we're here tonight and everything. We think we really boost our spirit and everything.
What else is happening, the social part? Have you gone to any Broadway plays? Have you seen any of New York City?
Oh, yeah. We went to Chorus Line, and we went to see the Statue of Liberty, and we went through Central Park, and we walked just miles and miles.
Well, you heard what it's like to come to the big city, and Marv, back to you, and let's hear a little about the game.
All right, Mike, it should be pointed out that was not one of the young ladies who wrote the anonymous marriage proposal letter to Mike Eruzione. We're set to meet both the Orangemen of Syracuse and the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa. Let's go to Digger now for a rundown of both ball clubs.
Now for the Tulsa University Golden Hurricanes. Number 12, Mike Anderson. Number 15, Johnny Craven. Number 22, Phil Sprodling. Number 23, Ty Nelson. Number 24, David Brown. Number 32, Brad Lareva. Number 33, Greg Stewart. Number 35, Rodney Turner. Number 40, Steve Bellier. Number 43, Bob Stevenson. Number 52, Ed Lindbrack. Number 53, Bruce Vanley. And the head coach in his first year at Tulsa, Nolan Richardson. For the Syracuse University Orangemen, number 10, Gene Waldron. Number 11, Leo Raptins. Number 20, Calvin Perry. Number 22, the playmaker Eddie Ross. Number 30, from New York, Tony Bruin. Number 32, Chris Jarepko. Number 33, Mike Sheehy. Number 40, the big man on the boards, Eric Sandifer. Number 42, Ron Payton. Number 50, Larry O'Neill. Number 53, Ken Davis. Number 55, off the bench, Sean Cairns. And the head coach, Jim Boeheim.
So there you have it, a rundown of Syracuse and Tulsa. A thought just occurred to me. You guys ever face each other as coaches?
Yes, he owns me. At Duke, buried me.
Kidding.
One and zip, but I never played in South Bend.
He got out the next year.
Oh, really?
Smart.
What year was that, Buck?
1947.
Let me check on my scrapbook. I got that one on the wall. No, that was in his formative years. Shoemate, Brokaw, Clay, before he got good players. No, it was in the friendly confines.
It was all coaching. Don't let him tell you.
Cameron Indoor Stadium, and you can do wondrous things there.
We have had a lengthy pregame warm-up for both Syracuse and Tulsa. In fact, both teams were given more time because of the consolation game going to overtime. What effect does this have on these ball clubs?
Well, in the aisleway, they were ready to come out at the end of the game, and when they heard overtime, there was a very noticeable, it
will affect one of the teams, I think, early. I've been through that. I know you've been through it, Bucky, and you just don't, you get them ready to come out, and the next thing you know, you got to go overtime, and from there, it's just, okay, now let's do it again, fellas. And it usually catches one team off guard.
Except this building is magic. A great crowd, national television. I can't see it taking very long for the juices to flow.
If you're not ready for this one, you're not ready for anything.
Agreed.
All right, we have the 44th NIT championship game upcoming. The Golden Hurricane of Tulsa, surprise team during the course of the regular season. The Orangemen of Syracuse, who came on very strong during the regular season, a record of 15-11. They have won 7 in a row. They have been able to zip through both the Big East tournament and then through the NIT. And a lot of critics of Syracuse said, well, they play the entire NIT at home. Of course, the same could be said of Purdue and Tulsa.
Well, I think it was impressive that Syracuse, coming into the Garden, had a very poor shooting night in the semifinal round. They shot only 43% and they were out-rebounded. But their defense is solid. It enabled them to get to this position. Defensively, the same can be said for Tulsa. It was absolutely a great defense that brought them back. They were 4 down at the half to West Virginia. West Virginia shot 66% in the second half, and Tulsa still caught them.
I think the key right now, obviously, both teams want to set the pace with a running game. Whichever team establishes that, then it's got to be decided which team wants to pull it back and wait on a running game and throw the other team off.
And right now we're set for the introduction of the starting lineups. Let's go to the public address for the voice of Madison Square Garden, John Condon.
Here are the starting lineups. For the Golden Hurricane of the University of Tulsa, at the forwards, number 24, David Brown. Number 43, Bob Stevenson. Center, number 33, Greg Stewart. And at the guards, number 22, Phil Spradling. And number 25, Paul Pressey. And the coach of Tulsa, Nolan Richardson. For the Orangemen of Syracuse University, at the forwards, number 11, Leo Rottens. Number 30, Tony Bruin. At center, number 44, Dan Shays. At the guards, number 22, Eddie Moss. And number 40, Eric Santafer. And the coach of the Orangemen, Jim Boeheim. The officials from Brookston, Indiana, Eric Harmon. From Chicago Heights, Illinois, Vero Sell. And from Gas City, Indiana, Martin Burdett.
And all 3 officials from the Big Ten Conference, the coach of Tulsa, Nolan Richardson, who took over a Tulsa team that was 8-19 last season, turned it around. He brought 4 of his players from Western Texas Junior College. In fact, Richardson won the Junior College National Championship last year with a record of 37-0.
The question for anybody who has the answer, will this man, if he wins, be the first rookie coach in Division I in his first year of coaching to win a National Invitational Championship?
That could appear on our NIT trivia.
Well, we're trying to find the answer. If not, we got a problem.
We'll send Bucky out to check it out.
Here we go. This is it.
Number 33, Greg Stewart, the 6'9" junior, a local product out of Evander Childs High School in the Bronx. And Dan Shays on the opening tip, and it's controlled by Tulsa. So the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa. This is Phil Spradling, played by Eddie Moss. Spradling, a junior from El Paso, fires it up and hits 2-0 Tulsa.
Both teams will be aggressive with the man-to-man early. They want to set the tempo for the running game.
Eddie Moss, played by Spradling. Eric Santafer. Leo Routens. Bad pass. Shays not looking. This is David Brown. Basket does not count. Traveling violation.
David Brown very unhappy with that call. They were just little steps. Routon's made a smart play. He didn't permit the three-point play. Just a little defensive bluff. Caused the walk.
Just enough to put the angle for the official to make that call.
Tulsa up by the count of 2-0. Nice pass from Shays for Sandifer, and tipped home by Bruin. And he's hit with a technical foul for hanging on the rim.
The Skywalker, Tony Bruin. We get to see it again. Backdoor play. Sandifer puts it up off the front of the iron. Now watch Bruin, number 30. Up, up. 6-4. Puts it through. Yes, he hangs. And a tee.
The basket does count. Bruin, who had 16 points here on Monday night against Purdue and fouled out, hit with the technical for hanging on the rim. Phil Spradling hits the tee, and it's Tulsa up by 1-3-2.
Not that expensive a technical. They don't lose a possession, and it really gets the crowd and Tony Bruin in the game.
Definitely gets the crowd going.
Paul Pressey with the ball. Had an outstanding game here on Monday night. This is Spradling in the backcourt with Pressey. David Brown, met by Leo Routens. Here's Greg Stewart trying to angle in, and a traveling violation.
He moved his pivot foot. A little nervous right now, just trying to work to see what goes on inside. Spradling's the guy that really controls his team. I like what he does for Tulsa.
He's actually the better shooter of the two-point guards. Mike Anderson comes in, and they alternate. Anderson's more of a penetrator.
Big crowd here at the Garden, just short of capacity. Eric Sandifer. Eddie Moss. Here's Sandifer. Does not count. Traveling violation.
Well, I think what you're going to find, you've got a Big Ten crew working this game tonight. And if you make any type of hesitation move, they will call that. And I think it's going to take the players a while to catch on to what the officials are going to do tonight. And you've seen it now in 3 calls.
The fact that they are from the Big Ten, it's very neutral. There could be no comebacks on officiating.
Pressey lost it, but it's regained by Stewart. Greg Stewart. Yes, and it counts.
Right now is a good time for Tulsa to hit Syracuse with a press, because in the early part of the Michigan game, we saw Syracuse turn it over, Bucky.
I think they will press, and I think it's a bit unusual. The Tulsa players call the press that they want at that free throw line huddle.
Shays committed the foul. Routens with good position off the rebound. Syracuse in possession, down 5-2. Eddie Moss. Routens from Shays has to save it, and Tulsa will take over. So Syracuse has come out looking very shaky.
Well, the same thing happened the other night. It took them a few minutes to get into the flow of the game. They went 2 for 10 on their first 10 possessions for scoring, yet they settled down.
This is Pressey against Sandifer, leading Stewart. Nice play.
Pressey will take over more of the ball handling when Spradling's in the game.
Leo Routens. Bruin able to keep it alive. Now Tulsa on the run. David Brown holding up. And this is Pressey, who had an NIT record 7 steals. Oh, what a pass. David Brown from Paul Pressey.
I think they're warming up, Dicker.
Syracuse needs a timeout, and they're getting one.
Jim Boeheim looking to talk it over. 17:40 left, first half. Tulsa 9, Syracuse 2. Right here, a message from our local stations.
If you've been waiting for something special in a color television, now's the time to go to Allen's TV and Appliance Center and see these new Sony 26-inch consoles. We've just received a new shipment and they won't last long. Also, you can see this great selection of Sony portables from 4 inches to 19 inches. Save over $100 now at any Allen's TV and Appliance Center, or call toll-free 1-800-722-3616.
The family that plays together stays together. There's much truth in that saying. Whether your family is two or a whole brood, Billiards of Tulsa can help you play together in the comfort of your own home. And now there's savings of 25 to 50% off on your favorite pool table. Every pool table is now reduced for Billiards of Tulsa's pool table clearance. Save now, save big at either store, Billiards of Tulsa, 3330 South Memorial or 4210 South Peoria.
And the big guy from DePaul, George Mikan, is here at Madison Square Garden, taking it all in. Most unusual start for the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa. They usually start slowly and then come on, but they lead it 9-2. Leo Roughton for Syracuse, and it's now 9-4. Tulsa leads.
Tulsa leads 9-4.
Syracuse coming with a press, a bit of a surprise.
Well, Jimmy did that in timeouts. It was a good time to call a press just to catch Tulsa off guard, but it turned into a foul.
If you press Tulsa, it's not to hurry him, it's to slow him down.
Eddie Moss committing the foul for Syracuse. His first second-team foul called on the Orange. This is Spradling, 6'4" guard. Cressy not able to hit. David Brown. Tulsa 11 and Syracuse 4.
Bucky, there's a case of ball watching on his shot where the man just snuck in and got the rebound.
Well, offensive rebounding has hurt Syracuse for a long time.
Roughton going high off glass.
What this says early in the game, it forces Syracuse to play more aggressive, and I think they'll get better as the game goes on.
David Brown. Well, they call him Sweet D, and he has some nifty moves. That's his third field goal. 13-6. Tulsa on top.
Well, what happens in a game like this, I feel now, Bucky, is if the running game goes on and Syracuse gets hot, it takes the momentum back away from Tulsa and it forces them to play a control game.
Sandifer off the recovery. 13-8. Tulsa by 5. 3.5 minutes in.
We have to go back to 1 point. Tulsa goes 9, 10 even, 12 deep. Syracuse is only 7, and Eddie Moss is going to really be legging it tonight.
Greg Stewart blocked on the play. Shays hitting the deck.
Key play by Dan Shays, I thought, right underneath. Took it.
And it's an offensive foul on Stewart.
Dan Shays is not a rejecter, but he's a smart defensive player. He gave up his body there, took the foul, wasn't tempted into going after it.
Right now, the official's worried about the camera and the control on the court underneath. It seems to be a little crowded on that basket, a little wet.
Doesn't take much to turn an ankle.
I didn't know the cameramen sweat that much under there.
Those big guys bearing down on you, you better believe they sweat.
It's tough work, Digger, as you know.
It's been interesting though all week. You really like coffee, huh, Marv?
I did. I lost it. Tony Bruin from Leo Roughton's 3-point Tulsa lead again. The Golden Hurricane looking to get it down in a hurry, and they turn it over in the process.
If they keep playing like this and throwing that ball around, we may play the second half on Wall Street. I don't think the building can contain
Well,
them.
now I know why they didn't shoot in here today, because the tennis match was going on. And you can see why.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Eddie Moss, played by Phil Spradling. So they open up in run-and-gun style. Here's Roughton. Shays keeps it alive. Roughton's nice move, yes.
Great play by Danny Shays. Big assist.
1 point Tulsa lead. David Brown. Cressy, yes. 15-12. Tulsa by 3.
I still think it's going to be 105-101 before it's over. We're not even 5 minutes into the game yet.
Roughton. And Tulsa in possession. It's a 3-on-2. Spradling. Eddie Moss. Nice pass from Roughton's, and the foul on Brown of Tulsa.
Roughton's had the open 15-foot jumper. He gave it to Bruin, who was up ahead, but Bruin was in a little traffic. I think Jim Boeheim would like to see Roughton's take that jumper. Look at the body control. Bruin, some athlete, 6'4", 42-inch vertical leap. He loves to take it to the iron.
It's a shame to see you stopping a play action, you know, with a foul.
He did get hammered.
I thought there was going to be a jump ball before that down there, which would have ruined the tempo of the game.
Bruce Vanley, 6'10" freshman, has come on for Tulsa. David Brown sits down, and Mike Anderson, 6-foot junior backcourt man, has checked in. Nolan Richardson likes to use his people, particularly in the first half. Usually saves the press, and it's been a devastating press for the second half.
Right, but right now I think Syracuse is going to press and watch. I say, Bucky, how many passes before a shot? 2?
That's suspect.
Tulsa by 1, 15-14. Greg Stewart.
Well, I was wrong. It was one shot, one pass.
One pass. One pass, 2 dribbles.
Tulsa by 3, 17-14.
There's the trap now. Taking the score.
Pressey. Oh.
Is Pressey a player or what?
Tulsa by 5, Eddie Moss. Good pass again, and Bruin will go to the line one more time.
The key is Moss was under control. He got down on that baseline. He kept his dribble alive. He wasn't going 90 miles an hour. Looked around, found the crease, and got it to Bruin underneath.
Bucky, you've seen Leo Rollins play all year now. I think he's just a pace behind. He should just wait an extra second before he makes that pass. I think he's been too anxious from what I've seen so far.
Well, I think you're right, Digger. He really prefers to pass the ball over shooting. He's very anxious to give it up.
Are you agreeing with Digger?
Well,
just on that one point.
We don't want it to be monotonous.
It's early.
Tony Bruin, a 69% foul shooter. Anderson able to come up with it. Tulsa by 5, 19-14. Bob the Snake Stevenson. Rebound, Eddie Moss. Moss for Sanford. Tulsa by 3, 19-16. Sanford's second field goal. Stewart. Greg Stewart. 4 field goals, 8 points. And Tulsa by 5, 21-16.
Digger, are you getting all these intricate offensive patterns that are before us out there?
No, I just like the changing defenses.
Byron's ball back.
Sanford. And rebounded by Stewart. Knocked away. And last touch by Stewart. Good play by Tony Bruin.
Eddie Moss pulls it off the defensive board, comes down on a solo dribble, throws a beautiful alley-oop to Eric Sanford underneath. And surprisingly, Syracuse, who has good quickness, is beating Tulsa down the floor.
That live, beautiful feed from Moss to Shays. And for Dan Shays, his first field goal. Tulsa by 3, 21-18. Anderson threw that lead and the foul. Bob Stevenson will go to the line.
Scramble for the ball in the lane. Bob Stevenson, very tough, wedges back, nearly gets the shot off for a three-point play. Strong offensive players, but he's got to be in close.
Here goes a three-quarter press now by Tulsa if the shot is made.
Tony Bruin committed the foul. Steve Ballard, 6'8", 220-pounder, has checked in for the first time for Tulsa. Ballard smashed a backboard in practice last week.
Cairns just came in for Bruin.
Steve Ballard, number 40, is in for the Hurricane.
I think the speed now goes to Tulsa in the front line.
The front line is much deeper, much quicker, much more physical.
Well, I think Shays is going to need a rest before this is over at this pace, especially with that ankle bucking.
Tulsa by 5, 23-18. 6.5 gone by in this first half. Sanford trying to force it. Stevenson had it deflected away, but last touch by Syracuse.
Just a good half-court trap. That's all it was. Fake trap. They put the pressure on, anticipated the lane, got the steal.
Mike Anderson, a junior from Birmingham, moving on Eddie Moss. Bill Spradlin. And Anderson again. longest sustained action without taking a shot. This is Fadley. Nice play by Cairns. Anderson. And a foul called on Purdue Steve Ballard.
Let's see if Ballard gets it in the cylinder. Here's it's on the rim. He almost didn't touch it.
Well, he called a foul.
Called a foul on Ballard. It appeared to be an interference call at first. Leo Routens for Syracuse out for Eddie Moss. 12.5 left in this first half. Look out. And they'll jump it up. Sean Cairns and Bob Stevenson coming together, and a timeout has been called. With 12.5 left in the first half, it's Tulsa 23 and Syracuse 18. We'll be back live from Madison Square Garden.
This bud's for the guys who take all the heat for us.
This bud's for you. This bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
Ooh, yeah. For all you do.
Hey, this bud's for you.
When I first started doing Eastern commercials, I was almost apologetic. That was 1976, and service wasn't as good as it should have been. A lot has changed since then, and people seem to know it. Because for 2 years in a row, more people have chosen to fly Eastern than any other airline in the free world. That tells me our people are doing a fine job. After all, I may get you to try Eastern once, but they're the ones who get you to come back. At Eastern, we have to earn our wings every day.
And we welcome you back to Madison Square Garden in New York. This is the 44th NIT, sponsored by the MIBA, the Metropolitan Intercollegiate Basketball Association, with 5 New York institutions involved. Fordham, with Pete Carlesimo, the executive director, Jack Kaiser in St. John's, Jack Powers in Manhattan. Spredling able to put it away off the break. NYU and Dan Quilty and P.J. Carlesimo with Wagner. 25-18, Tulsa with a 7-point lead. And they turn it over again.
No basket. In a transition, Bucky, it seems that when they set the trap, they do a very good job at Tulsa anticipating the weak side rotation pass. And that's where I think Syracuse has had trouble earlier in this game. If we just hesitate and read where that person is coming from the weak side, then I think they can make the play or put the ball on the floor and make that man move a little bit quicker.
I also think they have to pick it up at 15 feet and take the jumper. Most of the turnovers are trying to make that pass under the basket.
Tulsa has hit 11 of 15 from the floor. Syracuse at 8 of 15. They have been going at a blistering pace. Mike Anderson, Greg Stewart. And away from the ball, the foul is called. And it's against the Orange.
Boy, Tony Bruin can't afford to get in foul trouble.
That's his second.
They hurt him the other night at the end of that game. They need him tonight. He's a thoroughbred.
Tulsa has turned their backcourt over with 4 different players already, and Eddie Moss has been out there the whole way. I really think that's going to be a factor the last 10 minutes of the game.
This will be interesting to see their zone offense right now.
In the Missouri Valley, the scouting report is that you zone Tulsa. They're too quick to man for man, and their outside shooting is a little suspect.
But
Yes,
I'd say to stay, right? Syracuse has to get the lead before they can stay in a zone. Or do you think right now they would shoot over the zone even though they've got a 7-point leader where they force Syracuse to play man?
Well, if they don't have patience now, they're never going to have it.
So it's a good time for Syracuse to stay in the zone then. They miss.
Here's Anderson. Good fake by Stewart. And Tulsa leading now 27-18. Gene Waldron has come on for the first time for Syracuse. This is Waldron with it and met by Stewart.
See another key. Shays is bringing the ball down to press. That's only going to make him even tireder.
Here's Waldron. And again, Tulsa on the run. Anderson. And he's fouled. Leo Rungs getting set to return. Sean Cairns will sit down as you look at Tulsa coach Nolan Richardson. Nolan played 1 year for the San Diego Chargers of the NFL and 1 year for the ABA Dallas Chaparrals.
And now he's coaching.
Number 23 is in for the Hurricane.
Also at 6'3", 220 pounds. His players know don't mess around. Tulsa controlling the boards, but David Brown not able to convert. Here's Bruin all by himself.
Quick transition. I just think that the offensive rebounding situation is favoring Tulsa right now, Bucky. Syracuse is not blocking out.
And a 3-on-1 led by Waldron. Takes all the way. And they race back the other way. Anderson. For Ty Nielsen, who just checked in. Stewart. And Stewart able to keep it alive. David Brown. Oh,
a rock.
Yes. Hit the side of the backboard. Eddie Moss.
Just too anxious.
And Coach Nolan Richardson of Tulsa trying to call for time. What's going on out there? There's Tony Bruin. Tulsa now leads 27 to 22, and a timeout is called by the Golden Hurricane. 9:42 left first half. There's the score. Tulsa up by 5. Right now, a message from our local stations.
The family that plays together stays together. There's much truth in that saying. Whether your family is 2 or a whole brood, Billiards of Tulsa can help you play together in the comfort of your own home. And now there's savings of 25 to 50% off on your favorite pool table. Every pool table is now reduced for Billiards of Tulsa's pool table clearance. Save now, save big at either store, Billiards of Tulsa, 3330 South Memorial or 4210 South Peoria.
Hi, we're the Big Mac construction crew.
Ready?
Brad, what are they doing?
Building the game card for McDonald's biggest game ever.
The $10 million Build a Big Mac game.
Take a break. Match your game piece to the card and win prizes ranging from Coca-Cola
to a Big Mac sandwich to $100,000.
Okay, back to work.
Yeah. McDonald's Build a Big Mac game.
So come build a Big Mac
and start building your fortune today.
Well, this is the first ever meeting between Syracuse and Tulsa. As advertised, it has been run and gun racehorse basketball from the start. Here's Spradling. Paul Pressey, who just checked back in, and rebounded by Braun. And Syracuse on the run. Gene Waldron, nice return for Rowden.
Great play, unbelievable pass. See, Syracuse still has this game, even though they're not playing that well right now with the turnovers. If they just keep their cool, they're in good shape. 3 down's not bad with 9 to go in the first half.
And a foul on Ty Nielsen of Tulsa.
A picture fast break. The orange running. Deep pass to Waldron. Coming a little hard, out of control, draws the defense up, slides it under to Leo Routens, who can run like the wind for 6'8", and he fills the lane for a deuce.
So Syracuse takes over. Tulsa by 3, 27-24. Another Syracuse turnover.
Tulsa went to a zone and caught Syracuse by surprise.
Greg Stewart. 5 field goals, 10 points for Bronx product Greg Stewart, who hit for 19 points, 10 rebounds in the semifinal against West Virginia here on Monday night.
He came on very strong at the end of the year, especially in shooting.
And the steal by Brown.
Broughton's again. He's got about 4, I believe.
Nice pass from Pressey for Spradley. And Shays able to handle it. Here's Waldron for Sandifer. Good rebound by Stevenson in traffic. Spradling again on the run.
I don't think Shays is going to get tired because he just stands down there and waits for him to come back. What?
His arm may get tired throwing outlet passes.
Watch Shays.
Yeah.
No, he's got to come up on the foul.
Traveling violation call.
Oh, I was wrong.
Looks like the San Diego Chargers offense, the way Shays is standing back there and throwing the fly pattern. He hasn't jumped yet. He just rebounds, turns around, and nails it out there.
The NFL may draft him as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Tulsa by 5, 29-24. Just under 8 left in this first half. Championship game of the National Invitational Tournament for Madison Square Garden in New York. Marv Albert with Digger Phelps and Bucky Waters.
Bucky, I'm impressed with the patience here of Tulsa.
Good play by Shays on Brown. Waldron with the lead for Braun. And Sandifer rebounding. The basket will not count. Foul before the shot attempt.
There is no question. Syracuse has every confidence that it can run with Tulsa. The question is, can it run as long? Tony Bruin coming down underneath, has to double clutch to keep from getting rejected. Over the back, Spradling pushes Erickson.
I think the outlet passes are just a little bit too long, and this is every play we've seen down here for Syracuse. They've always been too far in the long outlet.
Do they shorten the court after the Avon tennis here this afternoon?
We could be playing the same. I don't see the net, but we could be playing the same lines.
Good pass from Shays for Braun. And Tulsa by 3, 29-26. Tony Braun now has 12 points, high man for the Syracuse Irishmen. Spradling stopped.
Great block by Shays. Is he playing a game, Bucky?
He really is. He waited that time. He's such a smart player, and his jumping has improved, but he is in no way a dominating center.
Well, his moment right now is for Syracuse.
Greg Stewart getting inside, and he's hacked. Shays coming around from one side, and Sean Cairns on the other.
Foul by Dan Shays.
Dan Shays picks it up. That's his second.
Foul. Syracuse has 16 fouls.
And both Syracuse and Tulsa, 16 fouls apiece. Bill Spradling sits down. Mike Anderson back as Nolan Richardson of Tulsa continues his shuffle.
Notice Eddie Moss on the right side of the lane for Syracuse. That's a tired Eddie Moss. That position always indicates I need some air.
Especially when he's sweating, he doesn't want to get his hands wet. And when they bend over like that and they grab their pants, that's a time for a little substitution. Toby Knight used to put his hands over his shoulders. You could always tell then when he was getting tired.
5-point Tulsa lead. And it's against Syracuse.
They call a foul on Bruin. Here's the alley-oop. Bruin coming in trying to get it. I don't believe he ever saw Mike Anderson. He had eyes only for the ball, but it looked like jackpot bowling. He really nailed Anderson.
So Tony Braun will sit down.
That's his third foul, I believe.
And Leo Ross returns. Braun fouled out on Monday night in the game against Purdue. Here's Mike Anderson. It's a 5-point Tulsa lead. Syracuse in possession. Sean Cairns. And the rebound for Shays, but he's called for a push. And that is number 3 on Dan Shays.
Well, it looks like right now Syracuse, Bucky, if Waldron comes in and plays at a guard with Moss, Sanford moves up to the front line.
Yeah, and they become minuscule by major college standards. Without Shays, they just don't have any big men. Sean Cairns has played well, and he's a fine athlete, but he gives them nothing offensively.
I think he's going to stay with him. You know, right now there's no sub.
One and one for David Brown. Like 3 other of his teammates, a transfer from Nolan Richardson, Western Texas Junior College. In fact, Brown captain at Western Texas. Now Shays will sit down.
Ron Payton.
Ron Payton, the 6'5" junior out of Trenton, New Jersey, who has been able to ward off knee problems, making his first appearance of the night. 17,801 here at the Garden for the championship of the National Invitation Tournament. It's a 3-on-1. And a traveling violation call.
Digger, would you have choked them 3-on-1 and they don't even get a shot?
Well, I think this is what Syracuse has to go for right now. I think if they can hold this thing under 10 by halftime, you know, anything can happen in the second half. The crowd can turn on for them, but they just can't lose their composure against the press. This is where they've been having trouble.
The good press makes steals from behind.
This is Payton out for Routens. And Payton has the open shot. Good move by Payton.
Still 5 points.
That's leads 33-28.
Ron Payton off the bench and able to hit. Bob Stevenson. And Cressy goes to the corner for Anderson.
Well, Syracuse is playing the zone, Bucky. I think this slows the momentum down and protects that 5-point deficit that we're talking about.
Stevenson changed his mind. And again a Syracuse foul as David Brown was hit.
But the foul on Payton, and it's not a bad foul. I'll tell you why. Tulsa's not a good foul shooting team, and this could work right now to Syracuse's advantage.
Digger, they're only 66% from the foul line. You just saw Cressy sit down, and Richardson just continues to shuffle. He likes to have the pressure club in the second half to throw the press. Usually doesn't throw the press this early.
Well, I think he's trying to rest his key players right now and have one more spurt before the half.
David Brown, 2 out of 2 from the line, has 8 points in all. He's averaging 13 a game.
Remember now, West Virginia had a 4-point lead in the semifinal game against Tulsa. Against the press, they were laying it up in the first half. They ended up with 29 turnovers and lost the ball game. Tulsa just keeps it on you.
This year, Tulsa has defeated Pan American, Texas El Paso, South Alabama, and in Monday's semi West Virginia in the NIT. Nice move. Mike Anderson, his first field goal.
I thought early in the year when Tulsa upset Louisville, that gave them confidence that they were a great basketball team.
And Syracuse turning it over again. This is also a Tulsa club that beat Wichita State twice. And a 14-point victory at Purdue. A timeout called. 5:04 left first half. It's Tulsa 37 and Syracuse 28. We'll be back live from Madison Square Garden.
Just to call National Sports for all the latest reports. We're talking National Sports News. We've got it all. 900, what a wonderful call. 900-976-1313. 900-976-1313.
Super 2 announces...
Macho Shave is Super 2 for the Macho Shave.
Don't just get close. Get macho close with the new Super 2. Each twin blade honed to the ultimate sharp for shaves so close they're
Macho close.
Fits Atra and Track 2 razors.
Macho Shave.
Get macho close with
new Super 2.
Now the Orange of Syracuse in trouble, in foul trouble with 3 apiece on Shays and Bruin, and trailing Tulsa. As you look at, he's not bored, is he?
Oh, Red
Wait a
Auerbach,
second.
how can he be yawning?
I don't believe that. President of the Boston Celtics, who has taken in the NIT here at Madison Square Garden.
I like the zone right now. They're in foul trouble, and I think Tulsa's looking to put it up, and that's what you're going to have right there.
And this is Tangifer. 37-30. Syracuse down by 7.
Just be patient, stay in the zone, Bucky, until the half starts.
David Brown, and Spradling hits Anderson in the corner. Brown keeps it alive.
That's where they're getting hurt. They've got to box out in the zone. They can't give them the second and third efforts.
Quick hands by Moss, but recovered by Spradling. This is Stevenson.
So Norman, Tulsa struggles in the half-court game. They're much better running.
David Brown fouled Leo Routens with his first.
Fouled by Leo Routens.
With Syracuse foul problems, they just got to keep it under 10 at the half.
David Brown. Correction, 2 shots.
Well, here's a key play right here. See, Tulsa, if they come back with that press again, Syracuse can't afford a turnover. Then it goes up to 11.
David Brown, 6'8", 205-pound junior from El Paso, Texas. Tulsa University coming in at 25-7. This is the finest basketball season in Tulsa's 65-year history. Some 21 team or individual records were either set or tied this year. And they now lead Syracuse 39-30. Nice play. Routens had the shot, but he saw Sanford.
Well, Sanford right now is playing as a forward in the front line in the offense, and he's very good underneath.
The big guy, Vanley, trapped. Anderson gets it out. Vanley. 9-point, Tulsa lead 41-32. 2-on-1. Payton called for the charge. Offensive foul on Ron Payton.
Offensive foul charge against
Anderson made a great play underneath. He just got position, came from the weak side, took the charge.
Ball pressing number 25.
Tulsa, a very streaky team. They were 11 of their first 15 shots. Since then, they went 4 for 18, or 22%. That, I think, had something to do with the Syracuse zone, and very much so, Syracuse hanging in there.
Yet they still maintain the lead. 9-point edge for Tulsa, and they're in possession. 3:15 left, first half. Vanley chases down. Here's Anderson for Stewart. Greg Stewart, Paul Pressey have checked back in. Pressey and Spradling now at the guards. Vanley off the fake. Tulsa now up by 11, 43-32.
Marv, that's a Knickerbocker rim right there. I know that rim.
Yeah.
You're always shooting third flag in the second half when you play in the Garden.
Wait a moment. I thought that was a Notre Dame rim when you go against Fordham here at Madison Square Garden.
Just seems that rim works well. Shoot to the flag if you want to score. American flag being underneath that basket, we'd always come out and figure out where we want to shoot. We'd always shoot for the Nick home bench.
Syracuse, 14 turnovers, a bugaboo for them that Jim Boeheim has lived with because they've been running so well. Tulsa, with all of their speed, has taken the ball with them. and got the ball on the board. Only 7 turnovers.
Well, the speed has caused that longer outlet pass coming down on the break. And as we said before, Tulsa shooting 4 for 18 in that last spurt. If Syracuse didn't have the turnovers, you got a different score.
Peyton on the line. He is a 61% foul shooter. The foul committed by Bruce Bradley. 2:40 left, first half. And another foul on Tulsa as they jockeyed for position for the potential rebound. So a potential 4-point play.
Right.
That's his second personal foul.
What it was a rebounding position foul where he just came across. Of course, Sanford did a good job of just getting in position, and the foul was there.
Greg Stewart picks it up, his second. Eric Sanford making his first appearance at the foul line. It was 6 for 8 against Purdue on Monday, and he has 9 points. The consolation game earlier tonight in overtime, it was Purdue over West Virginia 75-72. Right now Tulsa with the ball and a 7-point lead. 2.5 left in the first half. Spradling stopped by Rowe. Here's Sanford on the pull-up. Yes.
Syracuse is fearless. Boy, they just get it and go. Well, got to admire them.
They're playing on pride right now. That's what's got them here. They've got some key players on the bench with Shays and Bruin.
Easy hook for Stewart.
Greg Stewart.
It's still like 7's not a bad number.
Syracuse is taking that ball out of bounds against the press under the basket, which means they can't throw the deep pass.
Here's Peyton. Yes. Ron Peyton. 6 points off the bench.
He's playing. He's playing. I don't know, Bucky, has he been that good all year that way?
He has made almost no appearances in the end of the season through the Big East tournament, and in the NIT he's been just sitting.
He's had a problem with the knee, and so has seen limited action. 5-point Tulsa lead, 45-40.
Here we go.
Steal by Sanford, chased by Spradling. It's down to a 3-point lead.
Well, the zone changed the whole complex of this game right now, and it just forced Tulsa to play slow down.
It's not even a good zone, but Syracuse has confidence in it. Without Shays, without Moss, they've made a superb comeback.
And Bruin.
Stewart, forced shot. Kerins comes away with it. Gene Walton, and another Syracuse fast break. But this time Tulsa got back. 1 minute to go, first half. Walton. And rebounded by Spradling.
Not a good shot.
Spradling threw a prayer pass. And the foul call.
Good foul. Take the foul. Rather than give him the layup. And Peyton could afford to do that.
Paul Pressey will go to the line. That's the third. Committed by Peyton.
Third personal foul. David Brown, number 24, is back in for the Hurricane.
Waldron really did a fine job advancing that ball for Syracuse, but I think they've got to be a little smarter at the end of that break. If they don't have the outnumbered situation, they really should set it up, get under control, because they're a much better half-court team than Tulsa.
Well, I think he saw that he had people rebounding position. The ball came off long. That's all. It was a long rebound, Bucky, and otherwise I think he was playing with the crowd and the momentum. I thought he had to make the move when he had it. That's why the foul was good right there.
40 seconds left, first half. Tulsa once led by as many as 11, and now leading by 4.
Now this is that trick zone we talked about, Bucky, earlier, where they float back. It's out of a 1-2-2 set.
Yeah, but they play the passing lanes. It's always pressure, even when they're in zone.
Got to keep your dribble, penetrate the gap.
So the clock working down to 15 seconds left, first half.
Either way, they go in 4 or 2, they're in the ball game.
And it's picked off.
Take the foul, good foul, took away the layup.
4 seconds remaining. And Tulsa will go to the line.
Followed by Eric Sanford.
Sanford committing his first.
Sanford's first personal foul was first.
Mike Anderson who was 0 for 1 from the line, a 72% foul shooter. They call Mike Mighty Mouse, a transfer from Jefferson State Junior College in Alabama. And he's given Tulsa a 5-point lead. He and Phil Spradling have been alternating as starters during the season. Anderson had a 5-steal game against Texas El Paso earlier in the NIT. 6-point Tulsa lead, 4 seconds left. This is Waldron, knocked away. Anderson firing wide. That's the end of the first half here at Madison Square Garden. Better than 17,000 on hand for the NIT championship game. And Tulsa leads Syracuse by the score of 48-42. We'll be back with our halftime in a moment.
Get ahead in news with Jim Back and an award-winning team of professionals. Wherever it happens, there's KRMG Radio 74, the news voice of Tulsa.
In less time than it takes to have a cup of coffee, you can have your oil changed at Rapid Lube and Oil.
Driving to and from your job every day is costing you more and more as gasoline prices go higher and higher. Now there is a product that will reduce your fuel consumption, remove and prevent engine deposits, and greatly reduce engine wear. Mix-A-Go gasoline treatment is a highly effective multi-purpose concentrate manufactured by Bell Laboratories. So concentrated it takes only 1 ounce per 10 gallons of gasoline. Available in 1 quart and 1 gallon sizes or in 30 and 55 gallon drums. Call today and learn more about the Mix-A-Go gasoline treatment.
Now is the time to buy your new RCA Color TV during RCA's Super Savings Rebate at Allen's. Save from $25 to $75 on selected models. Also save on portables, like this beautiful 13-inch model for only $299. Or this beautiful 19-inch Color Track remote at only $499. Price is good at all 3 Allen's TV and Appliance Centers, or call toll-free 1-800-722-3616.
Buck Sporting Goods is batting .400 with baseball equipment for your entire team. Your outfielders will catch them all with Rawlings, Mizuno, and Wilson gloves. Buck's wide selection of baseball shoes like Spot Built, Mizuno, and Converse will slide your team to home plate game after game. Buck's has the biggest selection of baseball equipment you'll need to outfit your entire team. In Tulsa since 1926, Buck Sporting Goods with 2 locations, 5008 South Sheridan and 6920 South Lewis.
If you or someone in your family has a handicap and need help, New View Handicap Hotline is here to help. Give us a call, 622-8439.
Back at Madison Square Garden in New York, Marv Albert, along with Digger Phelps and Bucky Waters at halftime of the NIT championship game. It's Tulsa 48, Syracuse 42, the high point man Eric Sandifer and Greg Stewart, 14 apiece, 12 for David Brown of Tulsa and 12 for Red Bruin of Syracuse. Right now, let's go to Digger with an NIT presentation.
With us now, we have Sonny Werblin, the president of Madison Square Garden, who would like to make a presentation to the 4 finalists of this year's NIT. Sonny, welcome aboard.
Good evening, Digger. Very happy to have you here.
First of all, we have Emory Turner, the athletic director of Tulsa.
Coach, hi. How are you today?
Mr. Turner, I'm delighted to have you here. On behalf of the New York Knickerbockers and Madison Square Garden, I'm delighted to present this check to the University of Tulsa Scholarship Fund.
Thank you, Mr. Werblin. This is a great tournament, and Tulsa's pleased to be here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emory. From Purdue University, Mr. George King.
Digger, how are you? Nice to see you.
Mr. King, how are you? On behalf of the New York Knickerbockers and Madison Square Garden, I'm delighted to present this to Purdue University Scholarship Fund.
Thank you, Mr. Werblin. Purdue's delighted to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you, George. And finally, from West Virginia, Mr. Dick Martin.
How are you?
How are you, sir? Hi, Digger.
Hi, Dick.
On behalf of the New York Knickerbockers and Madison Square Garden, I'm delighted to present this to the University of West Virginia Scholarship Fund.
Thank you, sir. Mountaineers are proud to be here. Thank you, Digger.
Thank you, Dick. Unable to be with us today was Mr. Jake Krauthamel from Syracuse University. And I'd like to turn it back to you, Bucky, wherever you are.
Thank you very much, Digger, and we have some more well-deserved awards. On my right, Langston Rogers, the Sports Information Director at Delta State University and current president of the College of Sports Information Directors of America. On my far right, Mal Davis of S&W Dodge in the Queens, and you have a presentation to make, Mal.
Yes, to Langston Rogers for outstanding contribution to intercollegiate athletics. Langston, congratulations.
Mr. Davis, thank you very much. On behalf of Delta State University and the 950 member College Sports Information Directors of America, I want to accept this award on their behalf. We certainly appreciate it. Thank you to S&W Dodge and also to the NIT. Thank you.
Thank you, Mal and Langston. Congratulations. Marv Albert, we're back with you.
All right, Bucky, and we'll have more of our halftime activities live from Madison Square Garden after this message from our local stations.
Save up to $100 now on Frederick air conditioners during the Frederick authorized off-season sale at Allen's. Frederick has units to cool any one-frame single room to an entire home, saving you up to 40% on your air conditioning bill. Save on cooling costs at savings up to $100 on your new air conditioner. Now during the Frederick authorized off-season sale at any of the 3 Allen's locations. Call toll-free 1-800-722-3616.
Now presenting the stars of our show from AI Honda, the only Honda dealer in Oklahoma to receive the 1980 National Honda Quality Dealer Award. Joe Marina, Betty Wild, Gil Cornett, and Harold Davis. Introducing the #1 attraction waiting for you at AI Honda, the only choice when it comes to quality.
Do you have cracking walls, foundation problems, doors and windows jamming, termite damage, dry rot, or floors that need bracing? Recent weather conditions in this area have caused many homes to fall prey to this kind of damage. BC Construction is ready, willing, and able to repair your understructural damage. If you've applied for an SBA loan, BC Construction can arrange an engineer's report. Call for free estimate. BC Construction, 25 years of experience.
Palmer aluminum customers can save even more by installing patio storm doors. Palmer will measure your patio door, leave an estimate, and never enter your home. Palmer patio storm doors are built in their own shop and made to fit frame or masonry exteriors, installed inside or out, and made with steel ball bearing rollers for easy sliding. Your home will stay cool during the summer's heat. You'll like doing business with Palmer, the courteous experts in storm doors and windows.
NIT championship game, and Tulsa leads Syracuse 48-42. Right now, let's go back to Bucky Waters with an NIT presentation.
The year 1945, the place, Madison Square Garden. The team in dark, the Paul Blue Demons, and it's the National Invitation Tournament. The man in the middle, George Mikan, number 99, the most dominant player of his era. George Mikan is with us today, and to make a presentation to George on my far right, John Morgan, the director of college basketball for the Nike Shoe Company. John?
Bucky, George, on behalf of the people from Nike Shoe Company, it's an honor to be teamed up with a very prestigious NIT tournament and present you and induct you at the same time into the newly formed Nike NIT Hall of Fame.
Well, thank you very much, John. It's a pleasure and honor for me to be so inducted into the Hall of Fame. I appreciate it, and I want to thank you and Nike for this great honor.
Congratulations, George. Thank you, John. And now a feature on other NIT stars and what they're doing now.
The NIT has provided a springboard to success in both basketball and many other careers. Former NIT players have been outstanding in a variety of occupations. Whizzer White played for the University of Colorado in the first NIT tournament. White became a Supreme Court justice in Washington, D.C. Easy Ed McCauley of St. Louis won the MVP in 1948. He's currently the director of sports production of Oak Industries and is also a TV commentator. Frank Baumholtz, who played for Ohio University in the 1939 NIT, went on to a successful baseball career with the Cincinnati Reds and Chicago Cubs. A co-winner of the 1952 MVP, Tom Gola from LaSalle, after playing pro ball with the Knicks, had a notable 10-year political career in Philadelphia. Vin Ernst, guard for Providence College during the 1961 NIT, presently has his own insurance agency in Providence, Rhode Island. Togo Palazzi hasn't left the game. The former 1954 MVP from Holy Cross is presently the women's basketball coach at his alma mater. The New York Knicks, who make their home in Madison Square Garden, have used the NIT as a breeding ground for top talent. Many NITers have enjoyed successful NBA careers via the Knicks, including Dean Meminger, presently the coach of San Francisco in the Women's Pro Basketball League. Walt Frazier, the 1967 MVP winner, is the second New York Knick to have his number retired from the New York roster. Mike Reardon enjoyed a successful pro basketball career, being recruited by the Knicks after the 1967 NIT, where Reardon starred for Providence College. And then there's Red Holzman, longtime mentor of the New York Knicks. Holzman played for CCNY in the NIT before playing pro ball with the Rochester Royals. Red came to New York in 1967 and has coached the Knicks for 12 years. Other NBA teams have discovered the riches of the NIT talent. The Boston Celtics picked up Kevin McHale of Minnesota's 1980 NIT squad. Golden State picked up Purdue's leading scorer of the 1979 NIT, Joe Barry Carroll, as the NBA's top draft pick. Ralph Sampson, a standout in the 1980 NIT, is one of pro basketball's hottest prospects. And there was Maurice Stokes, one of the greatest to ever play the game of basketball. After winning the 1955 MVP of the NIT for his St. Francis, Pennsylvania team, Stokes went on to a professional basketball career, but his career ended after a tragic accident. Although suffering this tragedy, Stokes and his foundation for aiding the handicapped has added a great dimension to those who play, as well as the whole game of basketball. The NIT has provided players who have enjoyed meaningful success stories after leaving college basketball.
And for Syracuse, this their 7th NIT. First time they have gone to the finals. For Tulsa, their 4th appearance in the NIT and their first ever trip to the Final Four. Tulsa led by as many as 11 during the course of the first half, and at halftime they lead Syracuse by the score of 48-42. The high man of the game for Syracuse, 14 for Eric Sandifer, 12 for Tony Bruin, and for Tulsa, Greg Stewart with 14 and 12 for David Brown. We'll take a look back at Bucky's pregame scouting report. We'll have more of our halftime from Madison Square Garden after this brief pause.
Michelob brings you the 7-day weekend, all America style. Americans love weekends, not just the Saturday and Sunday kind, but whenever we take time to enjoy the good things in life, like the smooth and mellow taste of Michelob. Because all over America, Michelob helps make any time feel a little like a weekend.
Hey, put a little weekend in your week.
Yeah.
All right, we're all set to take a look at how Bucky and Digger fared on the pregame scouting report. Actually, Bucky, not bad. You're now 2 for 31.
I tried to hire him as an assistant when he was just coming up through the ranks. He's a good man. He helped because we did a good job. Let's take a look at Tulsa. Let's see how we fare.
Well, I think Tulsa right now, we talk about the speed and the depth. I think that's been a factor, the speed and the defense, as well as the depth coming off the bench. The foul shooting, surprisingly, as a weakness, has been a strength. They're 82.4, Bucky.
Well, the inflexible part, we were right there. When Tulsa isn't going full court, they struggle. When Syracuse went to the zone, it really slowed Tulsa down, and their shooting percentage went with it. Only 42% in the second half.
Well,
first half.
You're right. I think the key in the end of the first half, obviously, was when Syracuse went to the zone when they're in foul trouble. It slowed down Tulsa. They don't like that, and their shooting percentage went down. But also on Syracuse's side, when we look at what happened there, I thought that, you know, we start talking about the strength being confidence. The turnovers hurt them, and that's not their confidence. And I think that's what led, even though they're shooting almost 53%, the 14 turnovers really hurt them in key situations.
Yeah, but I would disagree. I think the turnovers came from confidence. Even when it looked like they were in real trouble, guys in foul trouble, they pushed the ball up the floor. They took a lot of chances. They didn't get timid. Admittedly, 14 turnovers at the half is a lot. Defensively, we talked about their man-for-man, which is their best defense, really didn't hold up because they couldn't get back. But the 2-3 zone did slow them down. Weaknesses, we talked about depth. That's going to be pressed, and Ron Payton coming off the bench and playing as well as he did helped to neutralize that. Defensive rebounding.
It kept Tulsa in there. It did.
Sure did. They just couldn't keep them off the board.
But what I like right now, as I read it, Syracuse can go back to the regular team. They're only down 3 baskets, and that's all it's going to take, Marv, to get it going.
Well, you know, Digger, hold it. You know, Marv has a national reputation as a, I got to have this one. I've been taking this all year. He has a national reputation as a great sportscaster and an even more deserved reputation for being tough on analysts. He's been tough on me all year. You just had a couple of nights. We had to figure out what brought him to this point. And so we went back to his old school Syracuse with a film crew to see what in his formative years made him so mean. And this was the response at the University of Syracuse. Roll it, Bobby. It's a setup. That's what it is.
Smile now.
I have no idea who he is. He was Marv Albert. Who's Marv Albert? I don't know.
Marv Albert? I don't even know the guy.
Are you going to tell us who Marv Albert is now? I thought that's what we were here for. You were going to tell us. Exactly. God.
You guys are
Can you believe?
Blistering.
Bucky, you didn't set that up, did you?
Yes, I did.
That is mean.
I've been caddying for him for 7 years. And
yeah, but now I got a caddy for both of you.
That's true. How soon they forget up at Syracuse.
Not a big man in Syracuse.
Really
Did they have co-eds when you were in school?
I think we're going to go.
That was probably the problem.
They wore hoop skirts.
Teams are getting set for the second half. The score at halftime. It is Tulsa 48, Syracuse 42. Now a message from our local stations.
And now presenting the stars of our show from AI Honda, the only Honda dealer in Oklahoma to receive the 1980 National Honda Quality Dealer Award. Joe Marina, Betty Weil, Gil Cornett, and Harold Davis. Introducing the #1 attraction waiting for you at AI Honda, the only choice when it comes to quality.
If you think dressing up your kid's room is child's play, then check into a bunk bed system at Houseworks. Or maybe your King Tut is the neatest kid on the block with multicolor stackables.
Yes, I read you. I'm not after you.
And up against the wall shelves. Put the fun back into functional. Houseworks, functional furniture and accessories to make your house work.
If you've been waiting for something special in a color television, now's the time to go to Allen's TV and Appliance Center and see these new Sony 26-inch consoles. We've just received a new shipment and they won't last long. Also, you can see this great selection of Sony portables from 4 inches to 19 inches. Save over $100 now at any Allen's TV and Appliance Center or call toll-free 1-800-722-3616.
Now, you do realize this is only a rough estimate on your transmission job.
How rough?
Some are rougher than others.
Hey, boss, you remember the time you hit it right on the nose?
At Amco Transmissions, we don't guess what the job will cost. For an inspection service or a finished job, we'll give you an exact price. Amco. Why go anywhere else?
Amco, world's largest transmission specialist with free tow into 3 locations, 11th and Utica, 15th and Memorial, and 41st and Harvard.
There's only one you.
Tulsa,
Brewers of Michelob, put a little weekend in your week. Well, we're happy to announce that Ralph Sampson of the University of Virginia has been selected as the Primetime College Basketball Series Player of the Year. Sampson, Virginia's 7'3" sophomore center, led the Cavaliers to the regular season ACC championship and a berth in the NCAA Tournament Final Four. In recognition of Sampson's selection as the Player of the Year, Anheuser-Busch Incorporated will make a donation to the General Scholarship Fund of the University of Virginia in his name. So congratulations to Ralph Sampson and Virginia. A look at the halftime scoring totals. Tulsa led by their center out of the Bronx. Greg Stewart, 6 field goals and 2 for 2 from the line for 14 points. Stewart hit 6 for 8 from the floor. And for Syracuse, Eric Sandifer with 14 and Tony Bruin with 12. Sandifer 6 for 10, Bruin 5 for 7, but keep in mind the foul situation. 3 apiece on Dan Shays and Red Bruin of Syracuse. And we're set for the second half. Tulsa by 6. They've led by as many as 11. Sandifer controls. Here's Bruin. It's down to a 4-point lead. There's Tony Bruin.
Also, Ron Payton has 3 personal fouls, and he did that in only 7 minutes. Syracuse in real trouble from that standpoint.
Paul Pressey giving Tulsa a 6-point lead, 50-44. It was a low-key first half for Pressey. In fact, did not have a steal, which is most unusual. Bruin answering back at a 4-point Tulsa lead, 50-46. Opening minute, second half, 17,000 plus here at the Garden for this NIT championship game. And the foul committed by Pressey of Tulsa. That's his first.
Despite the foul problems, Digger, Jim Boeheim has elected to go back to his best defense, and that's man for man. The man with sparse locks there is co-captain Marty Head, the fine shooter who was injured.
Boy, would he give anything to be out here tonight.
Yep.
Injuries can always cause problems.
All right, setting Syracuse. This is Shays and Bruin again. So Tulsa's Pressey gets it down for David Brown over Weltons. Rebound Stevenson. Stevenson again. And the foul. Weltons picks up his second.
Again, the offensive boards, Digger, getting 2 and 3 cracks at it.
Well, it goes back to the old theory about ball watching. If you're playing man-to-man defense on the shot, you should look for somebody before it hits the rim and then go rebound. Syracuse is not doing that.
There's Leo Weltons, who just collected his second foul. Bob Stevenson, who became a starter late in a sophomore season. A senior out of Elk Lake, Pennsylvania. Now 3 for 3 from the foul line.
Digger, with Syracuse and man for man, would you try an isolate or maybe a shape up inside, try to get that fourth one on Bruin?
Well, I think right now, I don't think Tulsa plays that way. I think they want to play the aggressive, explosive game, and they're not worried about isolating on anybody, and I think they just want to not change what they've done to get this far.
Good point. But would you do it?
No, we have trouble scoring as it is.
Oh, the modest one.
Oh, what a massage act.
About 8 straight postseason tournaments. Gonna cry.
This is Spradling over Shays. Not a particularly...
What kind of shot was that, Bucky?
That was called a side ear flip.
Eric Sandifer. And it's Tulsa by 6. 4:48. 16 points for Sandifer.
Well, Syracuse doesn't get mad, they get even. You stuff one on them, they stuff one on you.
This is Pressey against Spradling in the backcourt. Stevenson up front with Brown and Stewart.
Due for a 5-second call then.
Spradling and rebounded by Weltons. Syracuse in possession. Eddie Moss flying down for Tony Bruin over Pressey. No harm, no foul.
Well, you think they're going to let Tony Bruin play this half?
Weltons really made that play because he hit traffic at three-quarter court and spun out of it.
Bruin now has 18 points. Brown does not have the shot, gets it out, and throws it away. Look out.
That's 2 nights in a row, Marv. They've come after you. You almost got it again. Another charge. He's an unbelievable defensive player.
And those kids aren't even from Syracuse, and they're upset with him. Pushing the ball up the floor. Eddie Moss under control. The end of a picture fast break. Moss doesn't charge. Goes to Bruin. To Santa for straight up, who nails it home.
And back to the live action. Syracuse in possession, now down by 4. Shays threw it away. Intended for Bruin.
Well, he never really had possession, and that usually happens when you fumble it and you're looking for somebody underneath. It turns into a turnover.
This is pressing for Brown. Nice lead for Stewart. Rebound, Sanford. Eddie Moss. Eddie Moss all the way and draws the foul.
Foul on Pressey.
And that is number 2 for Pressey.
Eric Sanford rebounds, gives it to Moss. Coast to coast. Struggles a little bit. A foul on the defense, and that's suspect. Nolan Richardson certainly doesn't agree with it.
Nolan Richardson thought there was a charge, but the foul happened before the charge, and that's why he's shooting.
Eddie Moss with his first point of the evening. Eddie's a 71% foul shooter. He's averaging 6.5 per game. His game is defense and ball handling out of Power Memorial High School in New York City. So Syracuse within 54-52.
Next 4 minutes, the crowd takes over. Syracuse can get it. There we go. This is what they need right now, a little spurt.
Stevenson will throw in. This is Spradling, guarded by Moss. 3.5 gone by, second half. Stewart forced the pass, but a break for Tulsa.
Tulsa really struggles in the half-court situation. They just don't seem very well organized. They've got to get it out and go.
The Syracuse zone is out of bounds play.
Foul committed by Moss, looking for the steal.
I think Moss can get more aggressive at half court. I think he put more pressure on out front and really put pressure on that ball.
Fouled by Eddie Moss.
Nolan Richardson, Sands, jacket. It's heating up in the Garden. Jim Boeheim up directing traffic.
Both Syracuse and Tulsa, 2 team fouls apiece. Stevenson. 3-second violation called on the State. Bob Stevenson and a timeout call. 16:40 left. Second half. Tulsa 54. Syracuse 52. We'll be back live from Madison Square Garden.
Michelob brings you the 7-day weekend, Texas style. Texas is so big, it could be Monday at one end and Saturday at the other. People all over this great state treat every day a little like a weekend. So any time is the right time for the smooth and mellow taste of Michelob.
Y'all put a little weekend in your week.
Yeah.
If one plug goes wrong in an 8-cylinder car, you've still got 7 left to pull you along. But if one goes wrong in a 4-cylinder car, you've got problems. Autolite spark plugs are made for small engines. They've got a fused glass seal in here to give you full power, and a wide heat range that helps stop misfiring and fouling at low speeds. If you have a small car, why not get a plug made for small engines? Autolite.
Well, the Syracuse portion of the crowd is charged up, and most of this crowd is Syracuse geared as the Orange has moved within 2, 54-52. They've trailed by as many as 11. We're early second half. And last touch by Sandifer of Syracuse.
Coach Nolan Richardson of Tulsa spent the entire timeout talking to the officials, and I'm sure Boeheim is unhappy with that fact because the first close call went to Tulsa.
Are you saying that that might have had some effect?
I don't know. The guy on my right does pretty well with a little, what you would say, gamesmanship.
Who's on your right? Who is that guy? I know him.
It's not Marv.
That's Moss's third personal foul.
Eddie Moss picking up his third, so 3 apiece on Moss, Bruin, and Shays. Are you saying Digger likes to talk to the officials?
Digger likes to talk to anybody.
That's right. I'm glad you clarified
And he's
that.
overcome his shyness nicely on these two telecasts. Syracuse.
A lot of zone. I like the zone. 2 points, you got it.
This is Paul Pressey in the backcourt with Phil Spradling. Up front, David Brown, Greg Stewart, Bob Stevenson. Stewart lost it. Eddie Moss did the same, but a reach-in is called on Pressey, and that's his third.
Pressey's the heart and soul of this Tulsa club, and he has not had a good night.
What usually happens in these situations when you get a couple tight calls and the officials get involved and the coaches get involved, I think it helps the team that's behind more than it helps the team that's ahead. And I think you're going to find right now Syracuse is going to take charge and get the lead here very soon.
Pressey and Stewart sit down. Bruce Fandley, the 6'10" freshman, number 53, has come out along with backcourt man Mike Anderson. Dan Shays. That's a rare shot for Shays.
Also went to the 1-2-2 zone. Shays found a hole in it right now.
We're tied at 54. Shays off the board. It's a 3-on-1. Eric Sandifer, Syracuse on top.
We got to get a timeout.
Tonight, 56-54. And Tulsa wants to talk it over. A timeout call. With 15 minutes left, second half, the Orange of Syracuse 56, the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa 54. Right here, a message from our local station.
Palmer aluminum customers save up to 25% of costly energy that normally goes out the window. Palmer will measure your windows, leave an estimate at the door, and never enter your home. So there's no high-pressure sales. During the high-temperature season, like last summer's heat wave, our quality storm doors and windows keep the hot air out and the cool air in. Buy from the manufacturer. Call Palmer Aluminum today.
Now is the time to buy your new RCA Color TV during RCA's Super Savings Rebate at Allen's. Save from $25 to $75 on selected models. Also save on portables, like this beautiful 13-inch model for only $299. Or this beautiful 19-inch Color Track remote at only $499. Price is good at all 3 Allen's TV and Appliance Centers, or call toll-free 1-800-722-3616.
Of the NIT with Fordham, St. John's, Manhattan, NYU, and Wagner, your host schools. Back to you, Marv.
Digger, why do they continue to bring up that Notre Dame appearance in the NIT? I just don't understand.
Well, that's why I want to do that plug, because I didn't know the answer.
Syracuse leading for the first time tonight, 56-54. This is Spradling. Spradling off the boards. And the foul on Routens. Routens looking for the jump ball, but he's called for the hold on Fandley. That's the third on Routens.
Well, I don't think fouls right now mean anything. I think you just got to play this thing out. You got momentum going.
Syracuse zone making Tulsa work a little harder for the first shot, but they're still getting the second and third. Syracuse a sizzling 6 for 8 shooting in the second half.
Anderson, and we're tied at 56. Mike Anderson with a second field goal has 6 points in all. Eddie Moss walking it down. This is Eric Sandifer. Leo Roten. Yes. Syracuse by 2.
Well, that's one thing. I don't think you can zone Syracuse the rest of the game now. You got the thing going by man-to-man. Now you got to get out of the zone because of what they can do is outside shooting because they're in foul trouble.
6 minutes gone by, second half. Syracuse and Tulsa meeting for the first time ever on the basketball court for the NIT championship. Shays off the steal, and it's a 3-on-2. Bruin
nice
for Sandifer.
Oh, what a pass.
Syracuse, devastating fast break. And it all starts with the outlet pass. Danny Shays is putting it right on the money.
Paul Pressey getting set to return along with Greg Stewart. And again, sloppy play by Tulsa.
Good hands again by Danny Shays. He got a piece of it.
A couple more and it's over.
A lot of time, Digger.
No, I like the momentum right now. Syracuse controlling everything.
I'm still concerned about depth. Tulsa has greater depth.
Now if they stay in that zone.
Right, I agree. That's twice we agreed. Did you mark it down?
This is most unusual.
Well, I don't think. There it is.
Nice pass from Roten. Yes, and it counts. And Tony Bruin will go to the line.
From the baseline camera, the steal by Shays, a pump fake, a two-handed outlet pass to Tony Bruin. Looking, draws 2 defenders to him. Soft pass to Eric Sandifer, but nearly a charge by Bruin, who was going at high speed.
The key right now for Tulsa, they've got to make a move before it gets under 10 minutes. It starts to become a psychological game.
Stevenson committed that foul. 3-point play for Bruin, and Syracuse has opened up a 7-point lead. 12 and a half left of the game. Anderson. They try to trap him. And the foul on Shays, that's his 4th.
You stay with him, Digger?
No, not now. I'd get him out. You got the lead, you can rest, get it under 10, then bring them back about 8.
And Jim Boeheim is getting set to insert the freshman Sean Caron, so Shays will come out.
Yeah, but I agree. I think I would too, but you got to be tempted. They're playing so well, and he's such a big part of it.
Not with the lead,
right out the string.
Play the zone for another 3 or 4 minutes. You've got the lead, and just see what comes out of it. And they're still in the zone.
Can't find Stevenson now. Stevenson takes, throwing up on him. This is Anderson and Stewart.
As long as they keep Pressey away from the ball, I think they're okay.
Anderson, yes.
Pressey is not a good outside shooter. The zone has really neutralized him.
Well, Anderson, I don't think can go at that pace. I'd give him that shot all the time.
8 points for Anderson off 3 field goals, 2 from the line, and a 5-point Syracuse lead, 63-58.
Pressey's the type of guy that made it happen the other night against West Virginia, Bucky. Remember late in the half?
Yep.
He's been very quiet.
Well, he's due to explode. That's the thing I'd be concerned with if I were Syracuse.
The Rubber Band Man. That's his nickname. He covers a lot of turf, and he has great hands. 7 assists in the semifinal game was an NIT record. I'm sorry, 7 steals.
Has incredible long arms. And he had 6 steals in the previous game.
Now, Syracuse is not holding the ball. They are waiting for the move inside. We saw it happen before, and sometimes fans get confused by this. They're looking to score. You watch. They're waiting for the break to get a quick 3-on-2 or a backdoor underneath from the weak side. There it is.
Good call, Digger. The problem when you're holding it like that is oftentimes you put yourself to sleep. Right now it looks like Tulsa's asleep.
As long as you take it to score, in this situation they did.
Routens penetrates, hits Sandifer underneath, a good pump fake to draw the defense up, takes it right up to traffic with a soft touch. What a game Sandifer has played.
Yeah, since he's been in the front line, I like that.
Bob Stevenson committed the foul, his second. Cairns kept it alive.
Key rebound.
Syracuse by 7, 10:50 remaining second half, and the Orange of Syracuse in possession.
Notice how all the high post players for Syracuse look down in.
Oh, it's a charge.
Leo Rollins committing his 4th personal foul.
Yeah, that's a key too.
Foul by Leo Rollins.
You think Nolan's into this game? He took his jacket off.
Shirt might be next.
And Syracuse has 60 foul. Gene Waldron
will sit down. Gene Waldron comes on. Leo Rollins, the 6'8" sophomore, the transfer from the University of Minnesota by way of Toronto, Ontario. 5 field goals, 10 points.
Small front line right now for Syracuse. Rebounding will be a key, an offensive rebounding.
David Brown for Paul Pressing. This is Mike Anderson, who's had the hot hand from outside. Anderson, he continues to hit.
6 in a row.
Syracuse by 5, 65-60. Moss around Pressing. So Moss and Waldron at the guards, Cairns, Bruin, and Sandifer up front. And Jim Boeheim can't believe it. He says deflected out by Tulsa.
I didn't see it.
Could not see the play.
David Brown. So Tulsa has knocked it down a 3, 65-62.
Well, it's gone from 7 down to 3 with the ball. Keep possession right here.
As Presley's looking for the steal on Moss. Moss protecting it well. Here's Waldron. LeBron gets it right back out. And a timeout called by Syracuse. So with 9 minutes, 24 seconds left, second half, and Syracuse 65, Tulsa 62. We'll be back live from Madison Square Garden.
And every day it grows. You know there's so much more to you than anybody knows.
In the Army, we do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
Hey, First Sergeant. Good morning.
'Cause we need you in the Army.
Chic Super 2 announces
Macho Shave. The Super 2 for the Macho Shave.
Don't just get close. Get macho close with the new Super 2. Each twin blade home to the ultimate sharp for shaves so close they're
macho close.
Fits Atra and Track 2 razors.
Macho Shave.
Get macho close with
new Super 2.
And of course, Indiana in the Final Four of the NCAA. I believe that's your choice, Digger, to go all the way.
Well, what I like are the matchups right now. I think North Carolina playing against Virginia having a 14 and 16 point lead in the first 2 games they've played. I think that Carolina can get them this time. Indiana, I just think Bobby will do a good job against LSU, and I just like Indiana against North Carolina because Bobby very seldom loses to 2 teams in one season. So that's my pick, Indiana.
9 minutes remaining in this, the NIT championship game. Syracuse trailing by as many as 11 in the first half, now leading Tulsa by 3, 65-62.
Yeah, good call.
Violation call.
That was a good call.
They should be looking for Sandifer. He's 4 for 4 in the second half and 10 for 13 overall. The guy's got the hot hand. You got to go to him.
Brown's got cramps. He's leaving the game for Tulsa. Stomach cramps.
David Brown racing cross court to the locker room, and Phil Spradling returns. So Paul Pressey moves up front. Spradling and Anderson now at the guard. This is Spradling. Couldn't find Stevenson. Anderson back with it, being followed by Waldron. Now Spradling. He's been off. And a rebounding foul called on Syracuse. Sandifer collects his second, and Syracuse over the limit.
Well, the key, as we said before, it's good to play the zone as long as you box out on a missed shot, and that's what hurts them underneath.
Jim Boeheim not happy with that situation, although they've cut him down drastically in the second half.
Rick Stewart is 2 for 3 from the foul line.
Syracuse had 14 turnovers in the first half, so they've only accumulated 5 here in the second half.
Right now, I would say very soon I would get Raltons and Chase back into the game, play against the zone for another 4 minutes, then go, force them to play man-to-man.
I was just going to say, Digger, that again we got a mailgram from Packer and McGuire saying, what is Digger doing? Calling strategy here from courtside, but here's Raltons right back in.
Thanks, Marv, wherever you are.
You saw Raltons out of the corner of your eye. Wait a second. Syracuse by 1, 65-64, 8:20 left, second half.
The Tulsa pressure is soft, not near as aggressive as it was against a fine West Virginia team in the semifinals.
Syracuse now shooting 61% from the floor. And Tulsa down to 41%. The Orange turning it over again. The alley-oop for Pressey did not work, but Stewart is right there. And Tulsa leads by 1, 66-65. Traveling violation call.
Syracuse wants a timeout. There's going to be some talk to the officials on that call.
Timeout, Syracuse.
Jimmy Boeheim really upset.
As you can see, Jim Boeheim not pleased with that last call. 7:47 left, and the score, Tulsa 66, Syracuse 65. Now a message from our local station.
Just a little bit further, Angel.
Cheryl, my transmission broke down.
Too bad. First appointment, 2 weeks, Monday.
Next time, come to Amco Transmissions. We fix more foreign car transmissions than anybody, and we won't keep you waiting for an appointment. Amco. Why go anywhere else?
Amco, world's largest transmission specialist with free tow into 3 locations, 11th and Utica, 15th and Memorial, and 41st and Harvard.
Save up to $100 now on Frederick air conditioners during the Frederick authorized off-season sale at Allen's. Frederick has units to cool any one-frame single room to an entire home, saving you up to 40% on your air conditioning bill. Save on cooling costs and savings up to $100 on your new air conditioner. Now, during the Frederick authorized off-season sale at any of the 3 Allen's locations. Call toll-free 1-800-722-3616.
Back at Madison Square Garden with better than 17,000 on hand. Tulsa with the ball off that traveling violation. And there the field goal percentage we mentioned a moment ago. Syracuse going at a blistering pace in the second half. Stewart losing possession and then regaining. And Danny Shays has checked back in, so Shays playing with the 4 personal fouls as the Syracuse Orangemen now trail by 3.
And Danny was timid on that one, too. Normally, he would have gone for it a lot harder. He's got to play with caution, at least for a couple more minutes, then go after it all out.
Leo Welton's over Spradlin. And Tulsa comes away with it. Anderson in control. 7 minutes left, second half. Tulsa with a 3-point lead. Here's Stewart wheeling in. And the foul. If it's Shays, it's number 5.
Here's the play. Shays helping on the defense. The penetration is made.
Shays' 5th personal foul.
Looked like he got him, Digger.
It is number 5 on Shays. So Dan Shays is fouled out, leaving with 2 field goals, 4 points.
Well, Syracuse played well without him late in that first half. And during spurts when he was out in the second half, they should have confidence that they can do it without the big guy.
Well, I think he got that hesitation, as you said before, in that 1 rebound situation, and then he goes into the post defensive play and the pass inside, and it's just one of those situations where he gets caught with a foul. Now you know where you stand. You just got to go play with the aggressiveness that got you where you were before and not worry about it. He's gone. You still got 7 minutes to play, and you can still win the ball game.
Greg Stewart, 2 shots.
2 shots for Stewart, who's 4 for 5 from the line. He leads Tulsa in scoring, averaging 15 a game. Greg Stewart is a young man out of the Bronx. In fact, Monday night, his father saw him play college basketball for the first time, and he saw him score 19 points against West Virginia in the semifinal. Stewart has given Tulsa a 4-point lead, 69-65.
Well, the press has flustered them a little bit, and this is where they've got to take it to score, right here.
Tony Bruin with a great move. And the foul. The basket is good, and Bruin is called for the charge, and that is number 4 on Bruin.
Moss penetrates here under control, finds Bruin in traffic, a layout 9-point dive. Very obviously the defense came from the weak side and was waiting on him. Bruin was not under control.
Paul Pressey on the line.
Here's Paul Pressey, 1-on-1. He's 1 for 2 from the foul line. Tulsa by 3, 70-67. Four-point lead for the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa.
Still time, only 2 possessions. That's all you need right now.
Eddie Moss slithering through.
Boy, did he go through that double team on the dribble.
Beautiful pass from Loughton for Sanford. Tulsa by 2, 71-69. 6.5 left of the game. Mike Anderson getting inside again. Rebound Cairns, then through his hands, but last touch by Tulsa.
Tulsa is known for their pressing, aggressive defense, but it's ironic that Shays is the 47th opponent to foul out against Tulsa. Tulsa's only fouled out 16 guys all year. That's a tribute to their depth and the fact they play so many people.
The key right now is Moss's penetration. He gets the ball and just goes.
Bruin.
The ball's blocked. Great rebound.
Karen tied at 71. The freshman, Sean Karen, who has a big assignment in coming on for Dan Shays, has tied it. Through the foul. Cairns commits it. And a substitution.
Brown.
David Brown is back in.
Sean Cairns. His first personal foul.
Whatever it wasn't serious. It's good to have him back.
Replacing
Bob Stevenson will sit down. Leaves with 4 points. Gets a hand from the Tulsa contingent. On hand. Incidentally, Tulsa will be taking a charter plane back home in the early morning hours, and there will be a homecoming reception tomorrow downtown on the Mall at 12 noon with Mayor Jim Inhofe hosting the festivities. The team will be honored. That's tomorrow, noontime in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
You going out, Bucky?
No, I sent my regrets already. How about you, David? That's nice. The town is taking that team under its wing, and it's deserved.
Spradling off the steal. It's a 3-on-2. Nice pass from Cressy for Brown. Tulsa by 4, 75-71. 5:05 remaining second half.
Brown just had stomach cramps. That's a report from the bench. He's okay now.
And Welton stripped up by Spradling.
Cressy wants to come out. Tulsa's going to call timeout.
Nolan Richardson looking to call for time, and he'll talk things over as Spradling picked up his second personal. 4 minutes, 53 seconds left, second half. It's now Tulsa 75, Syracuse 71. We'll be back live from Madison Square Garden.
This Bud's for everybody who puts in a hard day's work.
This Bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Imagine a car polish that puts acrylic protection on your car's acrylic paint. New acrylic kit. Acrylic on acrylic protection. Acrylic kit, an exclusive formula that protects like only acrylic can. A tough, durable layer that shields your car's finish. Acrylic kit for the shine that protects. New acrylic kit. Acrylic on acrylic protection.
Syracuse. Their Orange men are trailing Tulsa by the score of 75-71. It's been seesaw. Tulsa led by as many as 11 in the first half. They led by 6 at halftime. Syracuse leading by as many as 7 early this second half. And now it's Tulsa by 4 with 4:53 remaining second half.
It's been my pleasure to do the last 5 finals in the NIT, and all but one went down to the wire, 1 to 3 points, except there was an 8-point spread when Texas beat North Carolina State. So this is nothing unusual for this fine tournament.
Welton stripped, but able to recover. Braun bringing Syracuse within 2.
Don't forget right now, Tulsa's a poor foul shooting team, and this could be a factor from here on out.
Traveling violation on Anderson, and we've had a large number of walking calls here tonight.
Leo Routens again giving it up underneath. Tony Bruin up over everybody at 6'4", lays it in soft.
Tulsa and Syracuse each with 2 timeouts remaining. 4:20 left, second half. Syracuse with the ball down by 2. Eddie Moss.
We just haven't seen the Tulsa pressure.
Caron's not able to hit. And the foul.
That's what usually happens on a, a forced missed shot. He goes for his own foul on the rebound and comes off with a foul.
Foul by Sean Cairns. That's his second personal foul.
Turnovers really have hurt Syracuse tonight.
Well, again, they had 14 in the first half, only 8 in this half. Tulsa had 8 at the half, now with 14.
Blocking foul committed by Sean Cairns. Mike Anderson, who is 2 for 3 from the foul line. He's been a big factor here today. He's hit that outside shot a couple of times against the zone. Has 11 points in all. Tulsa now by 3.
We talked about Tulsa not being a good free throw shooting team at 66% for the year, but they were 82% in the first half.
And they've shot well throughout here tonight. Tulsa by 4, 77-73.
But if the game gets down to tied, I think foul shooting will be a factor.
Sanifer on the rebound. Eric Sanifer fouled in the act.
Syracuse being victimized all night long with offensive rebounds. Here's Sanifer shooting short, following his own shots, going right over Anderson, taking it back up.
That's what they need, offensive rebound. And a press play right now. Key press situation coming up for Syracuse, if he makes it.
Paul Pressey committed the foul, his 4th. Sanifer, a 74% foul shooter. Now 2 for 4 from the line. Gene Waldron checking in now for the Orange.
Gene Waldron, number 10, is in for the Orangemen.
And Sean Cairns will sit down.
I like this lineup right now. I really do, Bucky.
Yeah, they're very, very small.
But they're quick.
And the steal by Braun. Foul committed by Spradlin.
Quickness paid off. A quick turnaround.
Fouled by Bill Spradling. That's Spradling's 3rd personal foul.
Digger enjoying his insight and perceptiveness.
Hey, he's been around. He's all right. They're gonna.
He's got to make them though. He's got to make these foul shots.
He's 3 for 5 from the line. So not able to take advantage of the 1-and-1, and both Tulsa and Syracuse are over the foul limit. Tulsa by 3. 3.5 left. And a reach-in call. Gene Waldron, the freshman guard, picks up his 2nd.
That's Waldron's 2nd personal foul.
Here's Cairns back.
Sean Cairns, number 55.
Waldron sits down.
Replacing Gene Waldron.
Mike Anderson.
Mike Anderson on
the junior from Birmingham, Alabama. 1-and-1. He's 4 for 5 from the foul line. And Digger, despite the fact, and you're quoting the stats, Tulsa does not show up as a good free throw shooting team. They've shot very well here tonight.
Exactly 27 for 31. That's outstanding free throw shooting.
Yeah, but watch, if this game is tight in the last 30 seconds, that foul shooting, that percentage goes down. Because they'll foul the right person.
Here's Weltons.
Great rebound. Seeks up as a forward.
76 as Sanifer hammers home a full field goal. The steal by Sanifer.
They got to go to him. He's hot.
Yep. Got to reverse it and let Moss penetrate. There it is. Plenty of time.
2:50 left. Second half. Tulsa by 3. 79-76.
This is impressive. Syracuse down 3 with 2.5 minutes. They're taking their time.
Well, it's either got to be Rounton's outside shot or something in the Bruin. There it is.
Routons. Someone got a piece of it. And Pressey gets it down for David Brown. For Spradling. Back for Brown. Rejected by Braun. But a foul. And that is number 5 on Tony Red Bruin.
Boy, for a guy with 4 fouls, Tony Red Bruin wasn't very discreet with that one. He almost labeled him for life with McGregor X10L.
And Bruin, hearing it from the crowd, he fouls out with 25 points. Another outstanding game for the sophomore Bruin.
Well, you got to credit his high school coach, Jimmy Gatto from Monte Cristo. He's done an outstanding job. Excellent talent in that high school program to send many players on to college. Tony Bruin is one of them.
He is replaced by number 10, Gene Waldron.
And Bruin is replaced by another local product out of Long Island City, New York, Gene Waldron.
Jim Boeheim still has Ron Payton on the bench, who played well in the first half.
David Brown, 6 for 6 from the line, but only a 64% foul shooter. And these obviously important foul shots. 2:17 left. Tulsa by 3. But rebounded by Stewart.
That hurt.
Here's Bradley. Sean Caron. And Waldron breaking. Gene Waldron. Beautiful feed for Eddie Moss. Mountains on the follow. And Tulsa leads by 1. 79-78.
That's the lead, 79-78.
They got to play man. They got to go after him.
Minute and a half left in the game. Tulsa with the ball and a 1-point lead. Spradling with Pressey playing with the 4. This is Anderson. Yes, and it counts. Leo Walton's called for the block, and Mike Anderson will go to the line.
Mike Anderson.
Anderson makes the penetration. Sean Caron falls down. It doesn't appear for any reason. Roughton's coming over, wants to make the sure foul. He really wanted to take that layup away entirely. Anderson cleverly and with a great deal of strength took it over Roughton's at 6'8". Got a lucky roll, has a chance for 3.
Payton's going to come in the game right now because Roughton's fouled out. But what you've got to realize, if he makes the foul, it goes up 4, which means 2 possessions. Now, Syracuse can come down and just play the percentages. I think if they work for a good shot, it's obvious. I think Tulsa will zone right now. I don't think they'll play man-to-man. And if they're patient, get it in and score, they're only down 2 with less than, say, 40 seconds to go. Go for the steal or play the press game where you're back in here looking for the quick foul again. And I would say you've got to foul one of the people like Brown that, just stepped up there and missed the 2 foul shots. And that's a key foul situation. Anderson has just had an unbelievable half, and every spurt that they've been looking for, he has pulled them through.
I got to give it to Sanford. With the offensive players that Syracuse has left, this guy's had a sensational game. Right now, with 1:16 to go, I got to put the franchise in his hands.
I thought St. Patrick's Day was last week.
He had 8 rebounds.
You never know in a Big Apple.
That's left over from the St. Patrick's Day party. That's a long time ago.
Mike Anderson, 6 for 7 from the foul line. Syracuse down to 1 timeout left.
What shot?
Anderson with 16 points, 12 of the 16 in the second half. Very coolly gives Tulsa a 4-point lead, 82-78. Here's Waldron. And Stewart comes away with it. Tulsa on the run, a 3-on-1, and Brown was able to pull up.
They got to foul Pressey. He's only a 56% free throw shooter, and he'll handle it.
Seconds left, and Waldron able to get the reach and foul on Spradling.
He's not a bad foul shooter.
Fouled by Gene
Well, he hasn't been to the line.
That's Walter's third personal foul. It's
In this half.
He's a 72% foul shooter.
Percentage-wise, he's the best on the floor right now, so that was an unfortunate foul from Syracuse standpoint.
Bill Sparkle on the line, 1-1.
Tulsa 28 for 34 from the line. Wasting no time in getting it away, did not want to think about it. So a break for Syracuse, Eddie Moss.
Unbelievable.
And again rebounded by Stewart. And it's Tulsa ball.
Just can't get the break.
Still plenty of time.
33 seconds left. And Cressy looking for some help. He calls Stewart back down court. This is Stewart. Stripped to the ball by Waldron. Not a smart play by Stewart, taking it in.
Go to the hole.
Waldron. Oh, and the foul.
It's going to be a charge. And they will come down and shoot a 1-on-1.
And a foul on Waldron.
You're absolutely right, Marv. That was not a smart play at all.
Well, I disagree. I like taking the ball to the hole when you're behind. Even though he's shooting a 1-on-1 right now, he could miss, and you got 17 seconds to come back and score. If they go up 4, okay.
We were talking about Stewart at the other end.
Oh, okay, right. I
situation.
thought you meant Moss. I'm sorry.
Syracuse has to take it in there,
yes,
take it in traffic, and try to get a three-point play.
Now Anderson, he's due to miss.
He's 7
if he doesn't, he's my MVP.
Shooter is Mike Anderson.
And Syracuse calling the psych out timeout, and that's their final timeout.
Well, you can judge the timeout situations, but when a guy's in a streak on a foul line, sooner or later in a pressure situation, the possibility of missing is important. What I don't like is not having any timeouts left with the 17 seconds. This could hurt Syracuse right now, but you've got to go back to what you had to do to get into the game, and I think obviously earlier in the game, Syracuse needed the timeouts, and right now they don't have any left.
And when we resume following that Syracuse timeout, Mike Anderson, who has been the man for Tulsa in the second half, will go to the line 1-1. He's 7 for 8 from the foul line, a 72% free throw shooter on the season.
If he makes it, Tulsa should go to a contained press, not a gamble press, but chew the clock up, because Syracuse does not have a timeout left. They can take full advantage of setting up their own press offense to get it back inbounds if Syracuse scores and work the way down to eat the clock out.
And Tulsa should stay away from that ball. If Syracuse can go down and score, they should stay away from that ball and not be forced to get it back in 5 seconds.
Obviously, if he misses and Syracuse scores, they got enough time to get the timeout to get it in.
And Anderson facing a Syracuse crowd behind the basket. Seconds. Syracuse in possession, down by 2. 10 seconds. This is Cairns. 5 seconds. This is Moss. Here's Waldron, deflected short. Sanford gets it away with goal.
Overtime.
We go to overtime. The score, Syracuse 82, Tulsa 82. Now a message from our local station.
Don't just sit there. Come on and play.
There are millions of prizes to win in McDonald's $10 million Build-A-Big Mac game.
Wow! Ranging from Coca-Cola to a Big Mac sandwich.
Even win $100,000.
Holy cow!
McDonald's biggest game ever.
But you can't win if you don't play. Well, don't just sit there. Let's go build a Big Mac and start building our fortune today.
When our
art is part of your profession, turn to the professionals at Triangle. Serving the Tulsa area with the largest selection of art, drafting, and graphic art supplies for over 60 years. Triangle now offers a convenient South Tulsa location in Kensington Center. Known in Oklahoma and in the Southwest for quality products and friendly service. Because art from any angle begins at Triangle. Triangle Company in Kensington Center.
We know at Fred Jones Ford that salespeople like Danny Johnson and Jim Elledge have made us Oklahoma's largest dealership. It's something everyone learns in business. The people who make you a success are the people who sell your product. And at Fred Jones Ford in downtown Tulsa, we've got professionals like Frank Murray and Lee Brock who are experienced to give you straight talk and a straight deal. We'll show you when it comes to experience in selling you a car. It's our salespeople who have made Fred Jones Ford the competition for more than 40 years.
The folks at Pixley Lumber are inviting you to stop by and shop Pixley Lumber's early bird specials going on now. Our new circular features items that will save you money on your building or remodeling projects, from floor to roof to anywhere in between. Save dollars on all your paint needs, framing lumber, plywood, shingles, and all your farm and ranch needs as well. All included in Pixley's 8-page circular. That's Pixley Lumber, your building materials superstore in Claremore.
Waldron puts it up. It's rejected. Sanford follows, takes it away from teammate Eddie Moss, gets it just over outstretched hands, and it's OT.
Sanford has hit on his last 11 shots from the floor. He now has 29 points. We go to overtime, tied at 82. You may recall against the University of Michigan last Thursday night in Syracuse, the Orange hit 16 of the first 16 from the floor in the second half. But here is Sanford on fire. The key play, the missed foul shot by Mike Anderson. Sanford able to control the tap over Stewart. Now Syracuse in the overtime gets one timeout, and Tulsa receives an additional timeout, so they have 3 left.
Number 50, Larry O'Neill, a 6'10 freshman in the game for the first time. Boeheim going to a bigger lineup, and he's forcing Tulsa to come out man for man. If anybody but Sanford shoots it right now, and I'm Jim Boeheim, I break their fingers.
Well, yeah, but he's due to get cold. That happens. But I wouldn't want O'Neill shooting the ball right now. I'd go with my bread and butter.
There's Waldron. Bad shot. Let's see how they call it. Last touch by Syracuse.
I really wouldn't break their fingers, but well, he should keep fire until he misses.
You sound like Ray Meyer, but Sanford went down and called for the block.
This is going to be an interesting call here.
But they're discussing it. It appears
that charge, the other was a step in.
Controversial play. Syracuse back in his zone.
Well, at first it appeared that Sanford was hit with his third, but let's see.
It appeared to me that Sanford moved in front, and he didn't have both feet set.
Double foul.
Double foul.
Double foul. He fouled.
Well, when that happens, that's the first I've seen it happen. But I'll tell you what, I got to give credit to the officials in this. You know, there it is, a key game. It's still overtime. There's still 4 minutes and 19 seconds to go. And when you see a play like that made by the officials, I give the officials respect in this situation, a double foul.
Well, Syracuse will take the exchange. Paul Pressey coming in, and that's his 5th. So Pressey, who has not had an outstanding night, particularly in light of the way he has played in the NIT, and he has been sensational.
Yeah, but this is where I look at now, knowing what they've done, I think Spradling becomes a factor right now. I think he's a clutch player, and this is where he'll take charge. Now, Syracuse, if they get the tip and score, the place just goes bananas, and that just puts it in a position where momentum, a crowd becomes a factor, the 6th man.
In overtime this season, Tulsa is 2-1, Syracuse 1-0. The triple overtime over Villanova to win the Big East Championship tournament.
It is Syracuse ball. Paul Pressey.
I like Peyton back in the game. I like his aggressiveness on the boards. They're going to need that.
Paul Pressey fouled out with 11 points. So Stevenson as we enter the Tulsa lineup. A minute in, 5-minute overtime.
Well, what you're seeing now is Syracuse has a real good delay spread offense, and this is where Tulsa right now is playing like a switching man as you watch the point man, 22, Spaulding.
Anderson is playing center for underneath, and that's a mismatch of about 4 inches.
Well, that's the type of zone they're playing right now. They've got, see, here's the switch back out. There they go.
Eddie Moss speed off the mark. Brown able to come up with it. This is Stevenson. And Tulsa in possession. Mike Anderson walks it across. Stevenson. Bad shot by Stevenson, and the foul call.
That's what you call going to the offensive boards with authority.
Stevenson. That's Stevenson's third.
Bad shot. I think it was frustration that caused the foul. He got the ball in traffic. He really put up a brick here. Took the ball way back. No iron at all, and he came back hard to get it, but he was all over backs.
I'm prejudiced to left-handers, and you know that makes us all look bad. My left-handed shot isn't that bad.
Well,
there's only a few of us left.
Digger, I've seen some of the tapes. Was it Beacon High School?
Beacon High School. You saw my number when it was retired.
Yes, that's true.
What was that number? I forget.
0. A timeout has been called with 3.5 left in overtime. It's Syracuse and Tulsa tied at 82, and we'll be back here at Madison Square Garden in a moment.
Michelob brings you the 7-day weekend, Texas style. Texas is so big, it could be Monday at one end and Saturday at the other. People all over this great state treat every day a little like a weekend. So any time is the right time for the smooth and mellow taste of Michelob.
Y'all put a little weekend in your week.
Yeah.
Your next long-distance call may be transmitted by satellite. The signals being sent and received from places like this called Earth stations. It's our latest way of preparing for the future, when telephone traffic gets heavier and heavier. Because you see, each one of the satellites can handle 18,000 calls at once.
Gee.
No, GTE.
Back at the Garden, this is Marv Albert with Bucky Waters and Digger Phelps. Sean Cairns will go to the line for Syracuse, the 1-1.
Sean Cairns
in effect at both ends.
1-1.
Holding over from regulation time. On the season, Cairns 20 for 25 from the line. Stevenson off the boards for Tulsa.
Foul shooting a factor in this game?
And neither club has scored thus far in overtime.
And it's not because they're not trying.
Tulsa's due to score.
Both Anderson and Spradling, the two-point guards, are in the game at the same time. Smart move by Coach Nolan Richardson. They need the ball handling.
That's number 4 on Eric Sandifer. A gamble going for the steal.
Fouled by Eric Sandifer. That's Sandifer's fourth personal.
Jim Boeheim pacing the sidelines. He does have one timeout left as a result of the overtime period.
But has he done a coaching job with Shays out of the game and Bruin out of the game and Rump's out of the game?
Absolutely.
David Brown, 6 for 8 from the line. Brown is only a 64% foul shooter, but he's been at that pace here tonight. And Tulsa leads by 1. 2:54 left in overtime. 84-82 Tulsa.
84-82.
Sandifer. So that's his first miss after 11 in a row. And Peyton lost it.
It looked like Mike Anderson either fouled or knocked that ball out of bounds. Big break for Tulsa.
And pressure by Syracuse as Brown looks to inbound. Spradling trap. The steal by Payton. But Sandifer can't save it.
Just can't get a break again. Still plenty of time. 2.5 to go. Half the overtime over.
Again, they trap, but Anderson able to race away. Oh, a dangerous pass. And Syracuse will take over.
When the point guard gets up in the air.
Bad pass.
Yes, and you never leave your feet in that situation unless you know exactly where it's going. Big turnover.
Eddie Moss setting it up. This is Sandifer. Sean Cairns lost the handle, but a foul on Stevenson. And for Stevenson, it's his 4th. So Cairns will go to the line again.
Fouled by Bob Stevenson.
He's got to make these.
That's his 4th personal.
He missed the one-on-one before, and now he's got to make both of these.
Cairns is now 20 for 26 from the foul line, which is just under 80%.
He's shooting 2 now. This is a little bit different than the one-on-one.
Why do you say that? In terms of
well,
confidence?
mentally, you can set up there and just concentrate. The other was a pressure foul shot when, you know, the score is tied. Now he's down 2. He knows where he stands. He makes the first one, and he should make the second.
So we're tied at 84.
We go one more overtime. Digger will want extra remuneration.
Spradling had the ball deflected. Sandifer on the rebound.
They'll go to their spread delay. It's a 5-man passing game. They'll force him to play man-to-man. And they'll force him to match up. Tulsa's got to play man. That's all they're going to do. I don't like that pass.
A minute and a half remaining. 5-minute overtime. We're tied at 84. Here's Sandifer dumping off. Last touch by Payton, and Tulsa will get it back.
2 key turnovers off the hands of Ron Payton right down on the baseline. I believe Jim Boeheim would prefer that Sandifer put it up himself.
David Brown whipping it down. This is Anderson. Anderson. Gave it off to Stevenson.
Again, Anderson leaves the ground and then looks for somebody to pass to. Very vulnerable to the charge.
Now 1 minute left in overtime. Tied at 84. At the end of regulation, it was 82 all. And Tulsa setting up deliberately. Brown checked the clock. See it running down to 45 seconds left.
Syracuse got to make a move defensively right now.
Little trap, little run and jump.
Well, I wouldn't leave a man open. I think you got to play shutout man-to-man.
Agreed.
Nice pass for Stewart. And Tulsa leads by 2. 86 to 84. Greg Stewart off the lead pass. And a timeout call by Syracuse coach Jim Boeheim. So that's their final timeout. Tulsa has 2 left. 21 seconds remaining in this 5-minute overtime session.
Well, it's got to be a must score. That's the situation right now.
The executive producer of tonight's telecast is John Kishorst, and produced by Herb Kaplan and John Calabrese, directed by Bob Lewis.
You know what I just discovered? A New England-like countryside right here in Tulsa. It's called Silver Chase and is located at Jamestown on 101st Street. You have to see it. It's absolutely unbelievable. The New England beauty and quiet of thickly wooded hills, clear brooks and streets winding through majestic oaks. Beautiful half-acre and larger home sites are available. Are you ready for this? For $40,000 and up. Silver Chase, 101st and South Jamestown. It's between Harvard and Yale. Drive through and you'll be impressed.
Something to consider from F&M Bank. We should all be concerned about the future because we will have to spend the rest of our lives there. F&M, Tulsa's bank. We believe in people and their ideas.
Ron Payton will put it in play. Eddie Moss, Gene Waldron, Sean Cairns, Eric Sandifer also on the floor.
Got to penetrate so that you get the three-point play.
This is Sandifer. He had a buzzer basket to put it into overtime. 10 seconds left. Gene Waldron way off. No buzzer basket this time. That's it. Tulsa has won the 44th National Invitation Tournament in overtime. They have defeated Syracuse 86-84. And the winning basket scored by Bronx-born Greg Stewart, who hit for 9 field goals and 5 for 7 from the line for 23 points. So very happy moments for the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa and their head coach, Nolan Richardson, who last year won the Junior College National Championship at Western Texas with a record of 37-0 and has won the NIT here this season, turning around the program at Tulsa. The Golden Hurricane at 26-7 on the season, turning it around from 8-18 a year ago.
Could be the first coach as a rookie, a four-year major institution going to Division I to ever win the National Invitational Championship that I know of.
It is a mad scene in front of the Tulsa bench. Naming of the most valuable player will take place in just a moment. The high point man of the game, Eric Sandifer, leading Syracuse with 29. And he hit that buzzer basket, sent the game into overtime. Leo Wells at 12, Tony Bruin at 25 points. And for Tulsa, the high man, Greg Stewart, with 23. 18 for David Brown, 17 for Mike Anderson, a major factor, and 11 for Paul Presser. But it was Greg Stewart off a nice lead pass, providing the winning margin in overtime.
Well, what it was right here, as you see, they're playing sort of a man-to-man position where they threw the lob inside. He just went up. Good control of the body, laid it in. Syracuse had 21 seconds when they came down, but the key was the fourth shot, which didn't go in, and they didn't get the rebound, and this is all she wrote.
The runners-up. Syracuse University.
Tulsa University in overtime over Syracuse, 86-84. And a very happy Greg Stewart, who played his high school basketball at Evander Childs in the Bronx. A junior who leads Tulsa in scoring, averaging 15 points per game, is alongside Bucky Waters at courtside. So let's go to Buck.
Short parents.
With me is Greg Stewart, the 6'9" junior from the Bronx. You are the most valuable player, succeeding Ralph Sampson in the National Invitation Tournament. You happy?
Definitely. Oh man, I can't believe this. It's crazy. I'm just glad. I'm glad we won. That's all.
You came back home. Your parents saw you play college basketball for the first time in the semifinals. This has to be a super experience for you, not only to come back home and win the tournament, but for you to get the MVP.
Definitely. It's a great thrill. You know, I never in my life did I think I was ever going to make MVP or anything.
All right. When your team went to overtime, what were your thoughts? Were you disappointed that you didn't get it in regulation? Were you concerned about coming back?
Well, so I sort of felt it was my fault. You know, I came down in the break, and I sort of, you know, they stole the ball from me, and that's what made it go into overtime. So I felt I had to go back out there and like boost the team back up.
That was a crucial play. You took it down one-on-one. It was a key turnover and allowed Syracuse to go down and to tie the ball game. But it doesn't matter now. You're in the winner's circle. And again, Greg, congratulations for the MVP award. Marv Albert, back to you.
Thank you, Bucky. Greg Stewart with the winning bucket to lead Tulsa to the National Invitation Tournament. That is the trophy the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa will take back to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And Digger, it's been a delight working with you despite all the comments from Al McGuire and Billy Packard.
No, I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun, and now it's on the recruiting trail.
Recruiting already?
Oh, it's year-round
Never
anymore.
stops.
We got to find some people. We'll be all right. My pleasure to you. My pleasure to Bucky and to Al McGuire, wherever you are. See you in Philly.
And we thank our great crew here at Madison Square Garden for handling all the facilities. It has been a delight for Bucky, for Digger, for myself. In overtime, the final again. Tulsa winning the NIT, defeating Syracuse 86-84. Thanks to our statistician, Saul Weidler. The announcers on the preceding telecast were selected by Madison Square Garden Television with the approval of the MIBA. And this has been a presentation of Madison Square Garden Television through the facilities of the Hughes Television Network.